Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all woke me up. What's up?
Hi, Najee.
Oh,
Oh, and hello, citizens of the internet.
I have no idea what's happening. I was taking a nap, and then I get a random call. I'm like, oh, I guess they want something. And then I hung. And then I'm like, oh, we're streaming. Oh,
Yeah. And I'm back.
Yay!
Alright, are you up for joining us?
might as well. Just woke up. I don't care.
Alright.
Streaming of capybaras.
I can't tell if this is a oh, well, capybaras, right? I can't tell if this is a side effect of COVID or it's just a freaking the day quote. It just makes me on and off again sleepy.
Am I audible? Just want to make sure.
I was like really sleepy with the COVID stuff. Like, I'm still not 100% alright. I still end up like wanting to sleep in the middle of the day.
That's really the
I
only.
felt that way when I had mono in college.
That's the funny. The funny thing is that's the only major inconvenience that's been dealt to me so far in regard to the symptoms I felt. Like it's only been a minor inconvenience at best for me. Knock on wood. Yeah, I don't want to jinx myself. Then God's gonna look up and like, oh, you want the worst ones, huh? I'll just play it nice. I gave you Omicron. I'll give you the worst one.
Like Cope has had the Omicron one, and I had the Delta one, so I got the one where you can't smell or taste anything.
And
For
hello,
me,
Mike.
it only lasted a day for me, like a day and a half, and now I got my sense of taste back.
It's been going on nearly 3 weeks for me.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I lucked out.
It's almost better than it was because I can actually taste some shit, but it's
But only shit.
Yeah, only
it's very inconvenient.
It was kind of weird. The doctor said, like, okay, well, this is the only thing you're allowed to eat. And like, that doesn't sound right. The doctor linked me to his Fur Affinity page, and I thought, oh, you're one of those. Well,
oh,
my health, I got some shitty health insurance if they sent me to you.
To be honest, I'd actually pay. I'd rather pay for shitty health insurance than not be seen by the doctors that I currently am part of under the healthcare at the moment because of the COVID stuff. Ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
So I phoned up about Logan, and they're like at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, "Oh yeah, all the appointments are gone. You have to go back tomorrow." I'm like, check his note. Like, he's asthmatic. He's been in fucking
yeah, and he's a child, and that's kind of as with my sister and I live together, and I had the symptoms and whatnot. My sister went out and got my the quick test. We both tested. My sister tested negative. I tested positive, and I have to do a non-quick test tomorrow, right? But my sister goes in the week after tomorrow, so my sister has to wait a week with me, like living with a person who did test positive, to get tested.
Ridiculous.
Hello, Kay.
Hey.
Hi, Kay.
Hello.
What the fuck is this?
It's a story.
No, who's Kay?
My friend.
You don't have friends.
Our friend. She's all our friend now.
Don't know if I'm sharing.
It's not like your girlfriend. Oh.
No.
I think Mike would have a problem with that.
No, but any of my friends, I actually own them, even if they're not aware of it.
So you own me?
So what you're saying is Manny has slaves.
No.
I'd really hate for like Manny to introduce a significant other. Like, hey guys, here's my girlfriend. Hey, Manny, you mean our girlfriend?
I'm so doing that next time if you get a girlfriend, Manny.
Yeah, if.
Why do you have to make this personal? He's laughing, but he's crying on the inside. Thanks a lot, Kayla. Whatever your name is, I don't remember. I'm fucked up.
Sounds like some commie gobbledygook to me. I miss Norm
I mean,
Macdonald.
we all do. If you don't miss Norm Macdonald, you're just an objectively horrible person.
Yep.
I think I watch a Norm Macdonald video like once a week, and then I got like my fix of him like when I was showing Logan the Orville.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm
that
really
was one
excited
of
for the new season.
that was one of the few celebrity deaths where I actually did tear up. Like it really did hurt me.
We watched Klaus on Christmas Eve, and I forgot he was a voice actor in it, and it made me sad.
Did you see what was it called? I know people don't really care for his stand-up as much as they just like him being him. But it what was it a 12-minute sketch? I think that's what it's called. Or no, it's called 12-minute joke. And it's basically the news bit. And it's like to me, that is one of the best bits in stand-up, and I don't. It's one of those things where I think no one really appreciated how funny it was until he had died.
Oh.
One of my
So
favorite.
speaking of devastating celebrity deaths,
Hello, Bagel.
Oh yeah, Betty White.
yeah, I was so sad.
Everyone was tempting fate with that one though, because like you noticed that, right? Like weeks before before the new year, like everyone's talking about all these articles coming out like, oh, Betty White's gonna turn 100. She turns 100, like, and my gut was telling me, you guys are. I don't believe in that kind of shit. You know, I don't believe that we affect shit like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like you unintentionally ask for trouble sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. Hello, Bioman.
Hey.
I saw
Bioman.
still a movie coming out to celebrating Betty White turning 100 on her birthday.
Jesus.
I'm
I've
just
been
like, why-
watching Golden Girls a lot in the past few days.
She was one of those weird celebrities where she just knew, like, I'm a celebrity. I entertain people. Funny that. It's almost like I don't need to know what your take is on X, Y, and Z is because I didn't fucking ask for it. Although Betty White, I don't know, I would actually be interested because she lived so long. I would be interested to hear what her takes on certain things are.
And Bioman, sorry to hear that you're not feeling well.
yeah. So yeah, sorry.
Aw.
Vince believes the media hacks Betty White. Hey, I'm just saying, I don't believe in karma or anything like that, but I believe the universe has a twisted sense of humor sometimes.
Yeah, I would agree with that because it was basically like about maybe I think it was like 6 hours, like at least on like where we were. It's like 6 hours before the stroke of midnight.
Yeah.
I'm just like, someone was like 2021 planned this.
Remember, I went on Facebook and I saw the first I heard about it was a comedian I follow who had posted something about it, and I'm like, please just be a really fucked joke. And it wasn't.
Because that shit happens all the time. Like, you have any idea how many times that happened to Mr. T? Specifically, two people, Mr. T and Jackie Chan. Like, there were a specific period of time where it's like once every like 2 years or so, there'll be like a fake death thing on those two.
Yeah, but like this was like an actual comedian I follow, like making like a genuinely heartfelt post, like honoring Betty White, and I'm like, please just be like a really fucked up troll. Like this wasn't like some like fake article from The Onion.
I used to joke around. I'll
Hang
still
on.
make the. Oh. I'm sorry. Oh. Well, okay. I see how it is.
So shall we get started?
Poignant, salient point
Yeah.
about the mortality of man and whatnot, and I get cut off and interrupted so you could chew. Excuse me. How do I sound? How does my voice sound, by the way?
Sounds
How
good.
sound? All right.
Don't mind me.
Arousing.
Deadpan and monotone like it normally does.
Okay,
Do I sound good?
you can eat a bag of baby dicks. No, yeah, you sound fine, Raptor. Kenzie sounds like shit
Good.
as always, and also is incredibly rude as always. But that's just Kenzie being Kenzie.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
That was incredibly thin-skinned to me. It's almost like something that you would do, Kenzie.
All right, so let's get started.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen this in a long time.
And
This story, I've read the story a long time ago.
that's what Gemma said as well.
Actually, before we start, let me just say, this would be much scarier if it was Fallout 76. Haha, funny joke. Please laugh.
I can't get over how much better you sound now.
I don't get it.
The
Because-
quality of your microphone is so much better.
Oh, thank you, Vince. And the joke is that Fallout 76 is shit.
I've heard it's improved, but I don't know, like even if it's like a AAA masterpiece now, you should not be giving money to people to promote practices that you don't agree with.
Yeah, and after Bethesda's like 4 of situation after we came out, I don't trust them. I don't get what they say. To me, the game will always be shit.
All right.
Also, I already said this. I already explained this before we began the stream, but I know nothing about the Fallout games other than it's just like takes place in the future after nuclear war. And Jim explained it to me before we started the stream. But
I guess
if you're-
that's kind of right. Yeah, we could coach you through it basically. I think everyone aside from you is like familiar with Fallout to a certain degree.
like I've just never played it. I have heard of the series before, but I just like know the very bare bones premise. And Jem explained it to me that like it's not really covering the gameplay, which is fine.
Yeah.
But just know that because I have no attachment to these games and I have no familiarity playing them, there's gonna be like a 95% chance I'm just gonna be like, okay, whatever. Yeah, sure, it's good, it's well written. Cool.
So are you familiar with the concept of retrofuturism in literature?
Define it, please.
Retrofuturism is basically like if you ever go back to I don't know, maybe like the like earlier times, like when it comes to like comic strips, right? Like you remember Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon and shit like that.
Mhm.
And they had these very specific interpretations of what they perceived the future would be like with like flying ships and shit like. Retrofuturism is basically tapping into that type of imagery and applying it into like with our own sensibilities, and that's kind of what Fallout tends to do. Whereas like it's not so much like it takes place in the future; it takes place in an alternate present, if that makes sense, where their present is our future, or what our present is their future basically, and the time period in which it takes place is almost like a different interpretation of how people like I don't know, like the roaring 20s would probably interpret futuristic technology. It was like the cars and whatnot, and also the world is like dilapidated and shot to shit. So
I
these
knew
are
that.
people...
Like I know what even the title refers to, nuclear fallout.
Yeah, but yeah,
so,
the point I'm trying to make is that in that regard is that it's them making the most out of what technology was considered innovative back in that time.
It's got very 50s aesthetic.
Yeah. I'm not really
cool.
articulating myself. It's a fun series. It depends also. Well, you have people who are very divisive about certain installments. I actually would recommend if you ever want to play them, the first 2 games. I like 3, although in terms of storytelling, it's probably one of the weakest of this whole thing.
I agree.
I detest 4. It's like 4 is even worse when it comes to storytelling, at least when it comes to the main story. And a lot of the side plots are really fucking stupid and inane and contradictory. But the first 2 games specifically dabble into like post-apocalyptic politics in the sense that I don't mean like it inserts like let's talk about what's topical now. What are the kids into, the Brexits? They're still talking about the Brexits, right? Like no, it's more how would these people operate, and what would be considered like a moral, like just system in a world that basically has no use for it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the things I can't stand is when like you see in like a world like Star Trek. Like Star Trek is supposed to be like a utopian future, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be like out of problems to run. You can write certain problems for them to have, right? So a world like Star Trek, it makes no sense for like, okay, we're gonna have an episode about racism, and where it's a black and white people, but that doesn't make sense in this setting because it's been established that that's not something that they even think about in this future.
And
But yeah,
someone should talk to Star Trek Discovery.
but I think people can more relate to it if we just like make it just specifically about white and black people. But there was an episode of Star Trek where the Abraham Lincoln meets Ahura. This is a real thing, and he literally calls her, "So, oh, what an enchanting negress." And they're so advanced in the future, and they progress so far. She doesn't know that that's something that she should be offended by.
Did you say Gabraham Lincoln?
I said Abraham Lincoln.
Gamer.
I know that's what you wanted to hear because you're not progressive like Gene Roddenberry would want.
Anyway,
Hashtag cancel Manny part. Point is, Fallout is cool.
we should get started since
I'm sorry,
Gemma cannot stay the whole time, and she's the one who suggested these stories.
Well, why didn't you cut me off at the hood and just tell me that and also hurt my feelings?
Because your voice is enchanting and hypnotic.
Okay, don't.
So what you're saying is he's an enchanting.
Yes.
You cut
Oh,
off right. You don't. I don't know.
Me off there. I don't know what happened.
No, yeah, you cut off. So he's an enchanting. Like, oh, thanks.
But yeah, like, I didn't want to stop you, Vince, because while you were explaining this to me, it was really sounding cool, especially when, Gemma, you added that it's a very 50s aesthetic, like a 50s idea of futurism.
Well, so you know what, I'm glad we sold you on it, at least.
I tried to see if I could get it on the Switch, and I cannot.
Alright, so Bagel said, she has no attachment and therefore did not fall out of love for the series like a lot of people did. Go to Punjail Bagel.
Punjail Bagel.
Can we get a bean number station that just chimes 69 over and over? Nice.
That's just Raptor. That's just
Raptor.
Also, real quick, the term number station, yeah, that is a. Have you ever listened to any like, what's it called, the Coney Number Station album? Have you heard that?
I've heard that.
Oh yeah, like I actually. It's weird how like it's considered surreal and unnerving to hear from our modern sensibilities, but it was probably just some really mundane thing, like for those people at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's just like, again, it's when you put yourself into a different sort of mindset. But I quite enjoyed it. Like, it is quite unsettling, but not. But if you kind of.
Okay then.
Excuse me, I have a drinking problem.
Did you choke on something?
My water.
Oh dear. You alright though, yeah?
Yeah.
Wait, I think there's 150 like broadcasts that were put onto an album, and I'm wondering if that's what this is based on.
Probably.
Again, it's been a long time since I've read this.
Kay says the only good thing about 4 was Final Pam. Mike says hashtag
no.
cancel Kenzie. Bagel says Kenzie's Cool Club, all spelled with K's.
You could try to cancel me, but what most people don't seem to grasp is that you can avoid being canceled by simply just refusing to go away.
Yep. Mike says UVB76 go burn.
I tell that to fucking Lindsay Ellis. I got canceled because occasionally people say mean things to me on Twitter. Fuck off, you ditzy bitch.
Well, she decided to go away.
Hello,
so
Iguana
that's
Boy.
her fault.
Oh, hey.
Alright, so I'll start us off, then we'll go to Gemma, because again, she requested the stories, and then the three of you knife fight for who goes in what order.
Me.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about Rio #1, but with fucking Lindsay Ellis. What was she talking about? Well, when I say go, get ready to throw. Throw it at them, not me. That's basically what happened.
I should go last.
Got caught in your old net. Okay, I don't know. I'll read whenever. Just tell me when I can.
Alright, you'll be after Kenzie, because Raptor said he'll go last.
I just want to note my prescription glasses got fucked up. My cat. I need to get like my lenses fixed.
Oh.
You did some Zorro shit into the lens.
Oh dear.
Alright, so this is Fallout 3 Numbers Station. Fallout 3 contains several in-game radio stations. The most diverse and important station is Galaxy News Radio.
Bullshit! Excuse me.
Many players of the evil persuasion know that you can kill Three Dog and he will be replaced by the technician Margaret. She is not a charismatic person and has very little to say, seeming
Like
to
Three Dog.
not enjoy her new announcing duties. She also never appears in person and therefore cannot be killed. Shame. Once Three Dog is dead, you're stuck with Margaret.
Oh no.
No
Not Monk
comments.
with fracture.
I fucking hate Three Dog. I'll just say it. He's a useless sack of shit.
No
sanctimonious dickhead. Fuck him. I'm glad he's dead. I will kill him again.
What most players do not know now is that under certain circumstances, GNR will become a numbers station. A numbers station is a station that broadcasts an unusual coded message. Many of these exist in real life, and some hypothesize that they are a nuclear retaliation control network. Simply check Wikipedia for more information about these odd broadcasts as they relate to the real world. Back to Fallout 3.
I mean, I understand that you don't want to inundate your story with too many unnecessary details, but I think you need to at least give a better summation of it. Like, don't just say, like, go, it's not my job to educate you.
Alright, and we'll comment on it at the end.
I'm sorry.
Gemma?
No one is really sure which actions are needed to hear the number station in Fallout 3. It appears that you must kill Three Dog, because nobody has reported hearing the number station with him still alive. It also appears that you have to skip over the quest Galaxy News Radio, where you help boost the signal so that the station can be broadcast to further than just the immediate DC area. This is easy enough to do with either a speech check or simply use the Fallout Wiki to look up where to go next and advance the main plot. Finally, you definitely have to destroy Raven Rock. This is the actual trigger to turn GNR into a number station, and it will remain such for the rest of the game. However, the vast majority of the players who perform these three actions still continue hearing the standard GNR broadcasts. There must be several more requirements the community has yet to isolate.
Go on, we'll do 2 paragraphs each.
Okay. If you're lucky enough to have hit upon the right set of circumstances just after destroying Raven Rock, you will get the message, radio signal lost, and a few seconds later, radio signal found. You cannot, however, actually listen to GNR just yet, because you didn't boost the signal and are out of range of the broadcast at the exit of Raven Rock. Luckily, Raven Rock is situated in the mountains and is right near one of the few places outside DC that you can get high enough to catch the signal. So far, the confirmed locations to hear the GNR number signals are 1. Within the immediate DC area, obviously. This is true for the regular GNR throughout the game. 2. At the top of the Ferris wheel at Point Lookout. 3. On the tops of some of the SATCOM arrays you can climb in the northwestern map area. 4. On the roof of Tenpenny Tower, though this might be within normal broadcast range anyway. Feel free to playtest and get back to me on this. 5. On the highest point of the broken bridge around Arifu. Again, maybe within broadcast range anyway. 6. On some of the highest points of the mountain tops in the area near Raven Rock. This is obviously your easiest chance to first listen to the number station.
When you tune in, you will hear an old familiar voice, Three Dog, despite the fact that you killed him earlier. However, you will quickly notice that he does not seem to be, quote-unquote, in character. So I guess it's not technically Three Dog, but just the voice actor, Eric Dellums. He reads a series of numbers in a monotone, depressed-sounding voice. He always recites a list of single digits between 9 and 12 characters long. For example, 93791722034. He never uses a multi-digit number like 11 or 40. These numbers are followed by widely varying lengths of Morse code. This is then followed by the song I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire. All other music tracks seem to be inactive on the number station. The Morse code was the easiest part of the mystery to crack, as the code is widely available and many people actually know it by heart. We quickly had a list of a great number of messages in English. Some sounded completely mundane and even comical, such as wash the car today, maybe Chinese for dinner, or have you watched my YouTube video yet? I uploaded myself kicking bums in the nuts.
Mm-hmm. You may be saying, but wait, YouTube doesn't exist in the Fallout universe. And you are right. As far as we could tell, all the messages sounded like they were based on our reality somewhere in the near present day. Some of the messages, however, are quite sinister, such as, the Queen has died today, the world mourns, as on days like these we are all Brits, or, I can't believe we actually done it, not long left, the noise, I can't take the noise anymore, I have a pistol in the attic. Just recently, a player on the wiki forums noticed a message that brought to light the meaning of the messages. He was reading a thread that connected all known messages transposed from Morse to English and saw the line 12055282010. What are you talking about? Yoldi missed. He realized that this referred to the recent death of Gary Coleman, and they quickly realized the numbers were the time and date of death. He immediately scanned through the messages to try and find some more examples of this apparent future by a game that's more than a year old. The next Benjamin instructed him and pushed him to enlist the aid of others to decipher the code. The message was 945420210. Incident in the Gulf. Several dead. Oil spill apparently averted. He realizes the BP explosion and the Arenas Day 1 assessment that the well was not leaking.
From
What's
this
up here?
point on, all numbers will be transcribed as dates and time.
Not even interrupt, go on, sorry.
Quickly found that most of the dates were after the game had been released, yet oddly, some were from the past. 22/15, April 15th, 1865. He's dead and blame will probably be placed on that actor, Booth. Johnson better not cheat me out of the payment. This shed new doubt on the official version of the Lincoln assassination. As community quickly started piling up interpretations of the messages, the moderator site summarily banned everyone who had posted in or even read the thread. All references to the number stations was removed from the Fallout wiki, and filtering software was put in place to prevent reposting of any relevant information. A few people, however, are trading emails and slowly finishing the translation of the remaining messages, and putting dates to the existing ones. The Queen had died today.
No.
The world mourns. Oh, sorry.
The Queen has died today. The world mourns, as on days like these, we are all Brits. 4/2, March 19th, 2014. Have you watched my YouTube video yet? I upload myself kicking bums in the nuts. 24/16, December 24th, 2012. I can't believe Britney's actually won an Oscar. 21:33, February 27th, 2023. Gemma, you want to take us home?
I can't believe they've actually done it. Not long left. They were warned. They just had to keep pushing the boundaries of science, the noise. I can't take the noise anymore. And the light, dear God. The universe is slowly unraveling around us. I'm not going to wait for death. I have a pistol in the attic. This is actually the only message not preceded by a string of numbers. It may be worth noting that the latest date on any of the messages is 1/27th, July 6th, 2027.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was interesting at least. It was decent. I'd say decent.
Yeah.
It's decent. Like,
I think I have a few hang-ups with it in regards to its approach to this particular type of story that they're trying to implement.
it has a dead Bart-ish thing around it with the
Yeah.
dates.
And hello, DG. Glad you could join us.
Oh, I think I'm sorry. Someone responded. I can't believe someone pointed out how ridiculous the John Wilkes Booth part is, as if a hidden Morse code message with this kind of shocking new evidence that will cause real people to reevaluate the circumstances of Lincoln assassination. Get real. And then one of the responses was, like the day he did, he shot him and publicly announced it in the theater behind him with a gun pointed at his head.
Yeah. Also, in relation to the Morse code thing, while the story was decent, that part just made me go, "Oh, several people have it memorized. Nerds."
Like I don't really. I hate. I think the implication of that is supposed to be that it's a subliminal thing that most people don't even recognize or don't even realize that they're picking up on, which that is a real thing. But again, it's one of those suspension of disbelief things that you always have to wrestle with the reader with and make sure that they're always like you don't want to disengage them, and
Yeah.
that's one of those moments that disengage me. And also, I inherently roll my eyes at these. Such and such prophesies the future. Like, take the YouTube part video thing, take it out. Like, you could just have it like where they made just vague allegories or vague terms and whatnot. Like the part about the pistol in the attic and the queen is dead. That could literally be in reference to anything, like
Yeah.
at any point in time. But you know how people are, like they are with the Simpsons and any other media that makes general claims. Is like, oh, they predicted something that would happen, or it just like it's extreme happenstance. You ever think about that?
Yeah.
But
And
you
hello,
could
Cam.
rely on that tendency that people have to actually make an effective, like story that seems the whole it predicted the future thing actually works because that's what we latch onto. Us, the reader, not the person writing the story. If that makes sense.
And it might sound bad, but I had to try not to laugh during the thing about BP,
Yes.
because it just made me think of South Park. We're sorry.
Again, I think it would have been better if that one specifically, like again, like it's specifically the BP oil spills. Like, why don't you just put context clues and then again, me being a person who tends to, we're pattern-seeking creatures. We try to find patterns sometimes where there aren't any, and so I'm going to connect the dots in my brain. Like, oh, you obviously they mean the BP oil spill. Holy shit! This is saying that it predicted that. And again, that would be on me, not the story itself, to make that connection.
Yeah. The one bit that kind of always gets me, and it's because has any of you seen Tat's top videos?
No.
I know. I do they are they still around?
They are, yeah. They still do stuff, mostly SCP stuff now. But they did a video back in the day, where they ranked like the 22 greatest gaming creepypastas, right? And I rewatched it maybe like a few months ago during it was like on Halloween because the Halloween season. So I thought it would be really amusing to see what they think is good at that point in time. And they had Fallout Number Station on here, and the bit that just makes me laugh is that the voice guy they got to talk about it got really sinister when he was talking about the death of Gary Coleman. All that was in my head when you were reading that was just him going, "The death of Gary Coleman," and I'm just like, and I had to mute myself for a minute. So I was like, why are you taking this so seriously? Like the story is pretty decent. Like it could have been much better. It could have what Vince was saying. Like they could have easily fixed it without it being like, ooh, we predicted this happening. Woo!
I mean,
it could have made it a lot more ambiguous.
I mean, you can't. Let's not dance around it. Gary Coleman's a sinister motherfucker. I play the postal games. He doesn't fuck around.
True.
You better don't catch him on a bad day. He'll fuck you up.
I mean, not anymore.
Yeah.
I am firmly like say Gary Coleman in the mirror 3 times tonight. I bet you won't, coward. Gary Coleman dressed as the Candyman.
Except you gotta you gotta re-angle the mirror to point down so you can actually see him.
No, don't worry. He's got a step stool.
Yeah, you just hear before you hear what you talking about, you just hear like tunk 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 tunk. Mike says BP, more like PP. Got him.
Didn't he like beat up some bitch that was bothering him?
I think so.
Like he was working as. First of all, well, good on those people for hiring him, but why would you hire Gary Coleman as a security guard for one? And two, I don't know. Like, hasn't this guy had a hard enough life? Can't you leave him the fuck alone?
Well, no, because some people are just awful.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm proof of that.
I was about to say Mackenzie, but you know, hurting feelings all the time. No, I didn't get over it.
Oh, did I hurt your feelings?
I'll sue you.
PP spilling in the ocean. Nice one, Kim.
PP.
God damn it, Gemma. You just sounded like so juvenile, like, ha, PP.
I don't know what else.
Or or did you find some on a potted plant in the corner there, Gemma?
I don't really know what else to say about this.
I just had to be. I just decided to be really, really juvenile.
I will say I do appreciate the story more than a fair amount of video game creepypasta because it goes for a very bare bones. It doesn't overcomplicate things. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's the perfect length for if you want to execute a premise like this. Because there's so many video game pastas that try to be overindulgent with certain details, and like I know everyone likes NES Godzilla, but God, does that story fucking drag?
It's too long.
Yeah.
Too long, too much padding, and to a point when it's one of those things where like certain details you look at it and it's like I think okay, is some of this symbolic of something?
Yeah.
Like is this supposed to be indication of something? And then you realize like oh he just felt like saying cool like talk about cool things he drew.
Yeah.
I mean it looks cool, but can we get to something interesting now?
And I also give this one credit for not being like so many others that are obviously trying to go like, am I like been drowned yet? Am I that popular yet?
Yeah, or like
that story.
You could have easily went into the trope of the kind of like creepypastas like Sonic.exe, and like all of a sudden it'd be like 3 Dog, it's coming for you.
Oh god. Yeah, Jim, I mentioned last night on the Discord, I just cannot escape like fucking Sonic.exe. I got like some mounts in World of Warcraft from like these 6 dragons. And like some of their names just sounded like kind of Japanese. And I was just like, oh great, is fucking Ubaru the Warrior of Sadness here too?
So I was trying to mention it before. I was fuck 3 Dog, and I will kill. I won't kill. There are people say like, "Oh, it's time to kill 3 Dog." See if this is true. Like, I'll kill him for fucking free, mate. I'll do it for the pleasure of it.
Welcome back, Kay.
Sanctimonious sack of shit. I don't owe you a goddamn thing. I just came to look out for my dickhead dad so I can tell him how much of a shithead he is for abandoning me.
That's why I like Radio New Vegas, because Mr. New Vegas does not really exist.
And he doesn't judge you.
No.
Well, it's not that he doesn't judge you. It's that he doesn't. He realizes that he has. You're not obligated to do anything for anyone.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm doing what I want, and I like it.
NES Godzilla, too long, mostly meaningless, way too much stuff about some 1989 Nintendo movie. Oh, well, you see, in 1989 there was this movie called The Wizard.
There was I honestly think that the starting portions of it, like the mystery of the game itself when it initially started out, was the most affecting bits. Like again, yeah, Red's effective initially, but I think my only issue is that once he becomes actively malicious and cheating, like okay, I think it needs to be like better defined. Like, what is this thing supposed to be?
Yeah.
He's an asshole.
Just AVGM, like, what an asshole. Those men AVGM playing NES Godzilla. What a piece of shit.
What a piece of
What the hell?
cowabunga shit.
What fucking cheated?
He gets fucking.
It's a dog shit.
Reds gets brutally murdered by Super Mecha Death Christ. Fuck off!
So shall we continue to the next one?
Oh, what is the next one?
Yes.
I'm giving you the link as I speak.
You're doing it right now as you're speaking. That's what you're telling me. You're telling me that you're literally. Okay,
I am
I'm sorry.
literally posting the link.
You are
Good thing.
literally 50 years old.
The only good thing to come out in 1989 was me. Haha. I'm just kidding. I'm Patrick. You are not Crash. Alright,
You're not
so
correct. What the fuck is this?
this is Jvk1166z.esp. It is a Morrowind creepypasta.
That sounded like some French bullshit that came out of your mouth.
More like moron wind.
Got him. Alright, before we
Skyrim
start,
is so much better because
let's,
it has dragons.
let's take a
that
vote.
all
What is
play the
worse,
same.
French bullshit or commie gobbledygook?
So wait,
Yes.
is this more is this another gaming creepypasta?
Yep.
I'll be in the dark with this one. Like I haven't played more. Well, I played a little bit of Morrowind, but it's one of those things where since I was born at a certain time and my initial exposure to I guess certain types of PC games was a little bit more in the 2000s, like later 2000s. I'm not used to like I'm not used to the I don't want to say archaic because
Yeah,
that has I guess a negative connotation to it.
Oh wait, is this supposed? Yeah, Mike asked a good question. Is this supposed to still be good?
Yes.
Okay.
What the streamer?
No, that's never meant to be good because I don't even. Yeah, I have no delusions about that.
So what did you guys think of Five Nights at Freddy's game? Wasn't it fantastic?
Hang on, my friend's calling me. I'll be right back.
But we're all right here.
I think I personally offended. She made an excuse just to leave, not talk about it. It offended her that much. Wow.
So this particular creepypasta, from what I can remember, again, this is one I read about 10 years ago, is that it does this it does like the it doesn't fall under the kind of the really stupid cliches that when we see in video game creepypastas. It's sort of like it's a little bit more like, from what I can remember at least. Please do know this is like, so 10 years ago, so this would be my like 18-year-old brain, 19-year-old brain. So
So
I don't trust.
if we don't think it's good, we can just blame it on you.
Blame it on past, Gemma.
All right.
Blame it on Doug.
I hate that bitch.
We'll get in the time machine.
Gemma went. Gemma from the past can deal with that.
All right. So
Bitches hate Gemma.
So, how much about Morrowind do we really have to know about to get some things here?
Not much really. So, have you played any of the other Elder Scrolls games like Oblivion and that?
Yes. I want to play Oblivion. I haven't played it.
You should. Oblivion's my favorite.
I've heard it has some of the best writing, but the gameplay is not impressive. But then again, from what I've been told, that's most Elder Scrolls games.
Yeah, it's like it's definitely got the best writing, it's got the best quests, but the The visuals are lovely. It's mostly just the character designs that are
Okay, but
shitty, and the
I mean
voice
that's all.
acting.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's all well and good. But can I fight dragons who all play the same?
No,
Are there like obnoxious cutscenes that I can like trigger to get the last blow?
no.
Hmm. This doesn't sound as impressive. Can I literally play every single guild despite how little sense it makes to, some of them will contradict each other?
No.
What are you getting at?
Like, getting at the Skyrim is a fucking mess and people need to accept it.
Skyrim is a mess, but like I still enjoy it because it's the only
I
one that I
enjoy,
can play at the
yeah, I
moment.
enjoy Skyrim and I enjoy Fallout 3 too, even though, like, if Fallout 3 is a fucking mishmash of garbage when it comes to writing.
So Gemma,
So basically,
what you're saying is you still enjoy it for what it is.
I still love it for what it was. So with Morrowind, it's basically okay. Vince, just so that you can, so do you know Solstheim in Skyrim, and it's to do with like the Dunmer, the Dark Elves.
Yeah.
So with Morrowind, obviously it's all about that. So like, it's kind of a similar atmosphere to stuff like Solstheim. So if that helps.
Cam says, I like the whole $2 they spent on voice acting in Oblivion.
Hey, they spent money.
Hey,
They got Patrick Stewart. They got Terrence Stamp and
they got
fucking
Patrick
Sean
Stewart to
Bean.
play for a few minutes, get out. They gave him a hand job and a hand sandwich.
They got Terrence Stamp and Sean Bean and Linda Carter, who probably just
Who gives a
he
fuck
probably
about
went,
Linda Carter?
yeah. But they also got Wes Johnson, who's the best.
She was Wonder Woman. They got Wonder Woman.
They got Wonder Woman, but they got Sean Bean as a main character.
Did he die?
Yeah,
I'm not telling you.
you okay? That's really impressive. Whatever. You call me when Bethesda gets Mr. Bean.
Oh yeah.
That's the only Bean I care about.
Yes, can we get Morrowind Blackadder edition?
Sure, I'll pay for it myself. I'm sure Ben Elton will give me some money.
Can you just imagine
Is
having
anyone-
fucking Baldric follow you around the whole time?
Is literally anyone looking forward to Elder Scrolls 6? I'm not.
I am cautiously optimistic about it. I think it's probably gonna not be nearly as good as the previous, but I like the world too much.
Because
Elder Scrolls.
literally all you have to do is just look at the most freaking Bethesda. Here's what you do if you want to see what are your fans into. Why don't you go onto the Nexus mods and see what the most popular mods are? What do they want for our games? Oh, look at all these things that people enjoy, and they enjoyed it so much that they had to add it to our game to make it fun.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I should have said Cam's second comment, but seriously, loved Oblivion.
Oblivion is amazing, and it's one of it's. I will defend it until the day I die.
Well, everyone looks like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, though.
Yeah, but I don't care. I was playing it back when it came out. I played it back when it came out. All right, I was 13.
At least, it's not like my fucking thing. Like, again, I really do enjoy playing Fallout 3, but I can't defend it no matter how much I try to. And every time someone tries to defend it from a storytelling perspective, I'm like, you're a fucking sellout shill and you should chuck your fucking dick licker.
I agree with that because I do love like the Fallout universe. Like the first two games a lot, and New Vegas, and 3 and 4 and 76 are kind of.
Find your dad. Find your dad. Find your dad.
It's Liam Neeson. Find your dad. Find your son.
Honestly, though, I think I'm pretty sure it's like one of the Elder Scrolls characters, just like a close up of this angry guy, and it says on the screen like fuck, what's his name? Stanley Kubrick to
Shelley Duvall?
Yeah, Shelley Duvall. Rumor has it you're a fucking moron. Any truth to that?
Yes. Oh, that's the guy from the arena.
Cracks me up every time.
There's a bit, one of my favorite bits about Oblivion, and it's completely the fault of the developers, is that when they did the voice acting, there's a character that just says her line and then goes, and then the recording still goes on and goes, wait, can we do that again? And then she repeats
Yeah.
her line.
That's literally something that happens in
That's
Sonic
amazing.
06.
Yeah.
That's I feel myself physically age.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
again, that's not the worst thing I've seen, to be fair.
Well, I was saying, like, I'm really excited for 2023 actually, because on on my 30th birthday, or at least around my 30th birthday, Dune Part 2 is coming out. So I'm
Yes.
quite excited.
Well, the only problem
and-
is that by then we'll have turned your whole entire region of the world into a glass floor for no
True.
particular reason.
Uh,
We have
But
that on our
Alan Wake-
schedule.
Real quick,
Alan Wake
talk
2
to you
is
later,
coming
Kay. Have fun with your friend.
Have a good one.
Go ahead.
What were you saying? I'm sorry, Jim.
Was it Alan Wake 2 is also coming out in 2023, which I've been
I
waiting
don't-
for.
I can't
12
bring
years.
myself to look forward to anything ever anymore.
I'm
I
still
enjoy-
looking.
That sounds depressing, and that's because it is.
It is depressing. The last game I actually was looking forward to properly was that game Stoma, and it did exceed my expectations.
You mean Soma?
Yeah,
I thought you said Stoma.
no, Stoma.
I don't spoil anything because I have it on. I have that and Amnesia, and I tried to stream my playing Amnesia, and then something happened where I don't know. You know, I was doing a bit. Obviously, I got where I pretended to be scared and like quit. That
Yeah.
you know, again, it was just a joke. I don't do that. And I wanted to play Stoma because I heard that the writing is fantastic.
It is. It
Yeah.
is fantastic. I will not spoil anything for you, but it's definitely one of the better games, like horror games, that has been released in the last 5 years.
Well, but hey, what about Amnesia Part 2? Like everyone loved that one.
No, they didn't.
But
You got a pregnant lady. She's pregnant, and she's pregnant,
She's pregnant.
and there's monsters,
Yeah.
and they affect her pregnancy.
think-
Cthulhu's really stressing me out over here.
There's another game that I will defend to a point, but the rest of it, I'm like, yeah, is Deadly Premonition.
I
Oh yeah.
Well, I had an analogy. I can't remember how long ago I said this. Deadly Premonition is what happens. Like, you have David Lynch. It's like David Lynch. David Lynch is like, oh, I want to make my own video game, and the studio's like, oh, okay, that sounds awesome. Like, I want to write it too. Like, oh, that's even better. They're like, oh, but I want to do the programming. Wait, what?
Yeah, that I think that's why I love it. Is because of that very reason. But I can't defend all of it. It's like one of those things where, like, I'll defend some of it.
I don't understand. I'll be honest. I like in terms. There are games that are like bad games that are completely devoid of merit that I will absolutely shit on people for trying to defend. But if I don't understand how you could not take away anything from Deadly Premonition. It is a fascinating game.
It is. That's the thing. It's so fascinating. But I can sort of like, if people start criticizing the driving or criticizing some of how the game plays, then I'll be like, yeah, no, I agree with you. But if you can, basically, it's one of those games where I go, if you can get past its flaws, it's wonderful.
Are you like, oh, you're playing it? Well, this game sucks. Yeah, but are you bored?
It's like, no.
No. It's the same thing with like Silent Hill 4.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about Silent Hill 4.
Silent Hill 4 gameplay is fucking atrocious, by the way.
It is. But it is the last good Silent Hill game.
Yeah, I have Origin. Like, this is sort of like, I know that I'm sort of shilling my own stuff here, but I am sorry. But like, I want to get back into streaming video games again this year because I stopped last year, and I bought Silent Hill Homecoming on Steam so that I can
Oh
play
my
and stream
God.
on it. Because it's like
Sorry.
£5, and I will be playing that very soon at some point. If anyone wants to come and watch.
Silent Hill 4.
Yeah, definitely. And
Well,
since
Silent Hill Homecoming,
Si-
Silent Hill 5.
since we're on the subject of things we're going to be doing, Gemma and I are planning to like both be on call for a redo of The Lost Crown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so,
Good.
But
Thank
and
you.
no
I'm
joke,
back.
like
why does that sound familiar?
Gemma.
Is that a PS2 game?
No, The Lost Crown. So, Lost Crown's a point-and-click game that was made by a very indie developer in the UK, and I played it on stream. I think it was the beginning of 2020, just before the pandemic. It was during my time where I broke my ankle, and it's one of my favorite kind of like horror point-and-click games on Steam.
Well,
And
well, it's too late, dickhead. I'm buying it right now. You can't stop me.
okay,
I am literally in the process of purchasing it. You can't stop me, Gemma.
okay, but you can also, but you can still watch me and Chad play it.
Yes.
Aha. I don't
Yeah,
have to anymore.
I'm
Uh,
back, by the
as
way. Hi.
As much as I
Hi,
make
Kenzie.
jokes about
This
that
looks like-
game, I really do enjoy it. And when we were talking about games we're looking forward to, I am very much looking forward to, whenever it happens, the sequel to Lost Crown.
This looks a lot like. Was this made by the same person who made The Cat Lady?
No, the guy who made it, his name's Jonathan Brooks. He made the games like he made something called Barrow Hill. He also made the Dark Fall games, and he was also in the game Scratches as a voice actor.
I think
Yes.
the Dark. You
Oh,
said
and-
The Dark Falls.
Dark Fall. So he made Dark Fall, the like
Hold on.
like Dark Fall Lights Out, Dark Fall Lost Souls, Dark Fall Ghost Vigil.
I'm
he's
still
made
listening.
quite a
I'm checking something real quick.
And
Ca-
but I have been waiting for the sequel to The Lost Crown in 2008, and it still hasn't been released yet.
Yeah. But
So did you guys start? Oh, sorry.
no,
No, we haven't started yet. We've been waiting for you.
So,
Yeah,
all right, I'm
and-
sorry.
no problem.
I mean, you
There was
should
just
be,
some
but for
important shit
different
going
reasons.
on.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, my friend's mother, she was in a bad car accident, and
Oh,
she's in
fuck.
South Carolina. She moved there last month, so I've been checking in with her all day if she needed me to go and bring her anything, or so things are all good for now. Everything's all quiet, so
Okay, good.
Good.
That's good.
Well, I'll keep her in the thoughts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Thanks.
it's. I'm sorry. What I was thinking about was because you said Darkfall. What I was thinking about was something called Downfall, and Downfall was also made by the dude who made The Cat Lady. I need to finish that game.
But
I was doing like a Let's Play on my channel, and I just stopped.
Yeah, but Gemma, you mentioned the guy did a voice in Scratches. I also have that, so you and I should also commentate on that as I play it.
Yes.
Why don't you guys also play? Well, I'm looking at my library for no reason. Arcanum. That's a fun game.
I'll have to give that a look at because I think there's still a Steam sale on, so like I might.
There's always a Steam sale on Arcanum.
True, but there's like Steam Winter Sale, which has been pretty decent.
Oh
And
yeah, I got GTA 5, so I can. I felt lame for saying that for some reason.
And Gemma, I know I ask you this periodically, but I can never remember. What was the point and click game where the guy's in a cabin and he sounds like Garfield?
Serena, it's
That's
free. It's free on Steam if anyone wants to give that a shot themselves. Also, Pushing Up Roses does a voice in it.
Yeah, I felt bad when you streamed that one because I was enjoying it, but I couldn't help but make so many lasagna jokes.
See,
You talk about Pushing Up Roses, the YouTuber.
yeah, she does a voice in the game Serena, which is free to play.
See,
on Steam.
I'm leery of her because she's a woman who's a former Channel Awesome employee, and she seems to actually have her mental personality and her mental faculty in check. It doesn't check out.
wait,
Yeah.
what?
I'm not saying the game is good.
No, I'm leery. No, I'm leery of her specifically because she is one, a woman, two, she was a former Channel Awesome employee, and three, she actually has a personality.
Yeah.
Those things don't seem like she's supposed to be like raging. This is what Doug Walker did to me, and like, and like falling apart. Like, no, she has a successful YouTube channel. She actually has hobbies and interests, and she doesn't get into drama. Like, there's has to be something. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
I know what you mean, Vince. I know exactly what you mean because there's certain people like that. I'm like, there's something. I can't put my finger on it right now, but there is something, and I will find it.
Okay, like
Funny,
like,
that's how I feel about Raptor. I mean,
like,
what?
but like, okay, like Manny, you definitely know what I'm talking about. Let me see. Obscurus Lupa is like basically like a crazy cat lady now. A Mars girl is like a fucking Twitter hound.
Isn't she still with Phaelus though?
Shut up,
Yeah, it
Mars
doesn't.
girl.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel fucked up for saying it. I'm a fan of Phaelus's work, but it's
Same
one of those
as
things.
Famous.
It's one of those things where so I was like, well, how do you think like Phaelus would feel if you're saying this shit about his girlfriend? Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like I don't. I would hope that he wouldn't like it. If that makes sense, you know. It's
Well,
like, yeah, you should side with your girl over a stranger on the internet, unless like I'm accusing her of something I can prove.
in my defense, though, she's an objectively horrible human being.
What has she done?
I don't like Obscure Lupa. I didn't like her. Like I started watching her videos at one point because she does movies that I enjoy.
She's
like,
painfully unfunny.
But she's very unfunny, and also she like is really mean to Phaelus. Like really mean. I understand that a lot of it could be, you know, for the camera, but at the same time, I'm like, does that how you treat your partner? Like, really?
It's also not. I don't think it's how much of it is a bit. Like, you know, you've heard on the Channel Awesome document about her. Like, she missed one call from Mike Machad, and that's what, and he got fired from it. Like, oh, that sounds outrageous. She didn't tell. Like, then you hear some follow up. Like, apparently she kept him waiting for like 2 hours.
Ouch.
And like that's what like yeah. She kind of left out certain details in that little thing. Like she does that shit all the time. She still harps on Channel Awesome shit long after it's done. Move on. And granted, even if you think that you can feel 100% with your whole heart and mind that you have been wronged, it's like you've heard the old adage, right? Like holding on to hatred is like drinking poison and waiting for someone else to die.
See, the thing is, like, I agree with you there because, like, whilst I really don't like the Nostalgia Critic, I don't like Channel Awesome as a whole, I can at least, like, put aside my biases and at least sort of can go, well, actually, there's a couple of things that Doug Walker's done that I can at least appreciate. With, like, in the sense of, like, I've enjoyed some of his more sort of Doug videos that he's done, and I also quite enjoyed the last... whilst it still wasn't good by any stretch, I could at least appreciate his final, was it called? His like it was like his mini series of movies that I cannot remember. Demo reel, his final demo reel that he did, where he's doing like a little bit more, real, if that makes sense. I can at least appreciate that for what it is, instead of like going, oh, I hate Doug Walker and I hate everything he does.
Cricket and I were talking about this in the server the other night, where say what you will about him, he doesn't care. Like he
and
will
that's the right
any joke you make at his expense, any insult you throw at him, he'll take
laugh
him in
with
stride.
He'll laugh with you even.
Yeah. And I can appreciate that with a creator.
But
a lot of creators will not.
Say anything like off color about any other like these people who like aggressively hate follow him. And it's like all of a sudden they feel entitled to see you look wrong. Like make a fart joke that involves fucking Linkara, and watch him like spur out and like put on like a 15 like page essay on Twitter about how
I did not fart in that review.
I'm not going to talk about any place. I'm not talking about any place right now.
They're horrible. They're horrible people. They're horrible people. They call me the light bringer.
And
But
I've said this, like if you don't want people to talk about something cringy you did like years ago, then don't make it fucking obvious that it bothers you.
yeah.
Don't
It's
you
such a-
talk about me, you son of a bitch.
So I don't know. It's amazing how, like everyone, like I think all of us at one point were completely on their side, like against Doug Walker when he changed the channel. And the more as time has gone on, it's like the fucking mask slipped because they were so upset. They were hoping that this would destroy Doug.
Yeah.
It's not even like one of those things where they wanted Doug to own
It's
up and
not even that I
apologize.
think it was mostly
They,
against Doug. I think it was more against Michaud though.
Yeah,
they
but
don't
Like
it's
even
not.
like people, even I think the doc more admitted that if anything, it was more Rob and Mike who were in charge.
yeah,
The funny,
but we need to get going.
I'm sorry. Let's go on. We'll talk about this another time, Gemma. Me and you specifically.
Okay.
The other guys aren't invited.
I want to get involved in this powwow. I'm like the only place of the group. I used to watch the shit out of Channel Awesome back in the day. I know what I would be talking about.
I think he
Okay,
still does.
so this
actually.
is the
I do not.
Morrowind creepypasta, Jvk1166z.esp.
All right, you guys read, and I'll just stand here and be pretty.
Cool.
I'm lying. I'm sitting.
Some people might recall some momentary buzz caused a couple of years ago by a particularly odd Morrowind mod. The file name was Jvk1166z.esp. It was never posted on any of the large Elder Scrolls communities, usually just smaller boards and role-playing groups. I know in a few cases, rather than being posted, it was sent via PM or email to a chosen few. It was only up for a few days, to the best of my knowledge. It caused a buzz because it was a virus, or seemed to be. If you tried to load the game with the mod active, it would hang at the initial load screen for a full hour, and then crash to the desktop. If you let it get that far, your install of Morrowind, along with any save files you had, would become completely corrupted. Nobody could figure out what the mod was trying to do since it couldn't be opened in the construction set. Eventually, warnings were distributed not to use it if you found it, and things died down. About a year later, in a mod board I used to frequent, someone popped up with the mod again. He said he was PM'd by a lurker who deleted his account immediately after sending. He also said that the person advised him to try playing the mod through DOSBox. For some reason, this worked. Sort of. The game was a bit laggy, and you couldn't get into options, load game, the console, or really anything else other than the game itself. The quick save and quick load hot buttons worked, but that was it. And the quick save file seemed to be just part of the game file, so you couldn't get at it anymore. Some speculated that the changed game used an older graphics renderer, making DOSBox necessary, but it didn't look any different.
This part I can speak about from personal experience. When you start a new game in JVK, as the board came to call it, once you left the starting bit in the census office and came into the game proper, the first thing you notice is that the prophecy has been severed box pops up. This is because every single NPC having to do with the main quest is dead, with the sole exception of Yagram Bagarn, the last of the Dwemer. Their corpses never despawn, so you can go check on all of them. In effect, you begin in a world that is doomed to start with. The second thing you notice is that you're losing health. It's only a bit, but it keeps happening, a little bit at a time. The longer you stay in one place, the quicker it seems to occur. If you let this health loss kill you, you'll find the cause. A figure we came to call the Assassin, because he seemed to wear a retextured version of the Dark Brotherhood armor from Tribunal, even though the expansions don't work in JVK. It's all black, completely untextured, like he's just a hole in space. The way he moves, he gave me quite a start. First time I saw him scuttling around my dead body. He crawls inhumanely on his hands and feet, his arms and legs laid out like a spider. You'd usually only see him after death, crawling around and over your body just before the reload box popped up. Occasionally you could catch a glimpse of him darting around a corner or crawling on a wall or ceiling. It made the game very difficult to play at night. Other than that, the only noticeable difference is that at night, at random intervals, Every NPC in the game will go outside for a few minutes. During this time, the only thing that will say when hailed is "watch the sky." Once they return to their normal behavior, they act like normal, though.
After a while, a player on the board discovered a new NPC called Terrarius. Male Dumber, right? In
Yep,
a temple
Dunmer.
at Hellsgate. Two things are notable about this NPC. First is his robe, a unique article of clothing that was lovingly rendered with the twinkling stars all across it, looking like a torn-off chunk of the night sky. The second is all of his dialogue, in addition to showing up in a dialogue box, is voiced. You can skip it if you wish, but it sounds like the default male Dumber voice. Some people said that they thought the voice sounded slightly different, but it was a very, very good imitation. I won't go into the details, but the questline he sends you on has to do with a dungeon referred to simply as the Citadel. Up until this point, the quests were all very generic. Discover the secrets of the Ancients Bent. The entrance to this dungeon is on a small island far to the west of Morrowind proper. I eventually discovered that if you use a scroll of Akirian flight on the westernmost point of the main landmass, jump directly west, you'll end up almost exactly at the island. Even though the dungeon, oh sorry, go on.
Even though the dungeon is called the Citadel, it goes straight down. It draws any other dungeon, both in size and difficulty. From a natural cave, you'll see down into an ancestral tomb-looking area, then a diatric ruin area, and then a Dwemer?
Dwemer.
Yeah,
A Dwemer ruin area. I made it down the Dwemer ruin before I quit. The creatures here are quite strong. That 11-20 character will have to take care of. And since you can't use the console in JVK, level 20 took a while to get to. Since quick load and quick save are your only options, it's all easy to get yourself into an impossible situation. I did, and I just didn't have the energy to start over. Now what I'm telling you is based on those few who went further reported. Past the Drummer ruins, you'll find yourself in a level like the Drummer ruins, but darker. Rather than the usual bronze, all the surfaces, including those of the creatures, are black. The sounds of machinery are loud here, and grow louder still. There's also steam or fog everywhere, limiting your vision to about 10 in-game feet or so. If you can make for all with this, you reach a hall that those who found it call the Portrait Room.
Like the fire and torches or other effects from early 3D games, this room had picture frames that always face directly at you, no matter how you look at them. The images in the frames were always randomly chosen images from your My Pictures folder. On the board, the ones who got there had some fun posting screenshots of the portrait room with various pictures in the frames. Usually porn, of course. At the end of the hall was a locked door. After admitting defeat and returning to Tierras, everyone just found him saying, "Watch the sky," in his gravelly voice. What's more, nobody else in the game would say anything. There was just a completely blank dialogue box with no options at all. They wouldn't even rattle off the usual canned audible greetings. The only exception was at night. Whenever they'd go out for a few minutes, they'd still repeat it. "Watch the sky." At this point, one of the players, a friend of mine from the board, noticed, and the few others who got this far agreed, that the night sky was no longer the usual night sky of Tamriel. It had changed to a depiction of a real night sky, and it moved.
From this point
Right.
on, everything is based on what this one person reported. Eventually, he got himself kicked from the board, but I kept in contact with him for as long as he responded. According to him, based on the constellations and planets, the skies started around February 2005. If you died, loaded, or went back into the Citadel, it would start over. When the usual day sky graphics took over, the movement would be suspended until the stars appeared again. In the space of a single night, everything would move about 2 months' worth. Since the since the timescale of JVK was more or less that of the standard game, that meant that a bit less than an hour was equal to a 24-hour period. He became convinced that the door would open based on some kind of celestial event. Of course, waiting for that meant leaving the game running. Of course, that meant that the game couldn't be left unattended, thanks to our old friend, the assassin. My friend decided he'd hang out for a whole day, just to see if anything happened. That would be about a year's worth of movement. Here's the post he made at the end of the experiment. I loaded in Satanin, where it all starts. It wasn't too bad, just had to check in now and then to move around and heal to make sure I wasn't dying. But check it out. 24 hours exactly in, and the assassin learned a new trick. He screams. I was reading, and all of a sudden, this crazy loud shriek just about makes me crap myself. It's like something out of a horror movie. I look up, and there he is, just crouched down right in front of me. Of course, the second I moved my character, he ran off. When I went back down to the portrait room, the door was still locked. Damn it, damn it, damn it.
A bit later, he came to the decision that he needed to wait 3 days, 3 years. The PM advised us to try DOSBox, showing us the February of 2008, which is his reasoning anyway. After the first shriek, the assassin stops hitting you out of nowhere. Now he'll shriek, and if you don't move for a few seconds after that, he hits you. I think whoever made the mod was trying to help. At night, I've got my headphones on, and I was just kind of dozing off. When he wakes me up with a shriek, I jiggle the mouse, and I'm good. That post was 2 days in from his laptop once it was over. Fuck, 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 fuck. So fucking done.
And
So
I
wait.
just want to specify that is part of the story.
Yeah. So I wait the 3 days, right? And right after the fucking assassin made me jiggle the mouse, he shrieks again. So I look, and everyone in the town is outside. They're all saying, "Watch the sky." I don't really see anything, though. And then the scene starts getting dark, like really dark. I turn up the brightness all the way on my monitor, and I can still barely see. I can see other people in the game, little figures running around in the distance, just running back and forth. If I try to get close, they run off. Now, I was trying to sleep, so the lights are off, and this is kind of creepy.
I don't want to get up to turn off my light because I don't want to miss anything, but nothing fucking happens. Eventually I get back to the Citadel. It's still dark, and I gotta swim, and the whole time I see these guys swimming all around me, just barely there. I make it to the Citadel, there's normal light inside, and I get worried. Sure enough, the portrait door is still fucking closed. I go outside, and it's all starting over. So that's it. I'm gonna fucking go to bed, and I'm fucking done. The end. After that, two things happen. First, another of the people who got out of the portrait room claimed that the assassin was showing up in his regular Morrowind game. Quick explanation: if you reinstall Morrowind in a different folder, you would have a normal Morrowind installed along with GFK. JVK.
The JFK file was called Back into the Left.
This is where the magic bullet sent him. Sent him into Morrowind. I can't tell that's worse than being dead. He himself chalked it up to an overactive imagination at first, but he reported a damn it, stop laughing. But he reported a couple of really big scares with a black figure crawling right at him, or seeing it waiting for him just around the corner before scuttling off. It's not that funny.
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing the character as JFK now.
I did my best to not derail it, I did it by accident.
We're going to go to the moon.
Ask not what you can do for Morrowind. Ask what Morrowind can do for you.
I do say, let's imagine him in Oblivion now as a cyber septum. I do say you are the chosen one.
I'm from Boston. I'm a Boston guy.
Clam chowder.
Rum chowder?
Moon sugar. Another of those Arisa portrait room. Saw a regular Morrowind game, but never saw him for sure. There's a couple of maybes late at night and always at a distance.
The second is that the friend started getting really abusive and short-tempered on the board, so he stopped talking about JVK entirely. It got so bad that he was soon kicked off.
God damn it! Shut up, Manny. Shut up.
I didn't hear anything from him for a couple of weeks after that, so I sent him an email. This was part of his reply. I know I shouldn't, but with classes out, I've got some time. So I started JVK again. It's almost 2011, and I think I've got the sleep madness. But stuff is happening. It's still dark. Once it gets dark, it never gets any lighter. It stays like that. People moved about a few months ago. It went steady. Seda?
Sedanine.
Sedanine. Okay. Sedanine just went to that little bandit cave and moved in. They killed the bandits inside. Now they're just standing around inside. They don't say anything anymore. They don't do anything when you click on them. I quick saved and killed one, and he just stood there until he died without fighting back.
And it's like that everywhere. You have to walk since the quick travel people are all in caves now too. But all the cities and towns are just deserted. All the people in caves and tombs. Everyone in Jvk
Yep.
Yeah.
is down in the sewers. I'm going to Ghost Gate next. I want to see if Tierras is still there. I'll tell you what he says when I get there. I replied and said I wanted to see what he said too and waited a day. When I didn't get a reply, I mailed him again, and a couple hours later, he sent back. Sorry, I totally forgot. So it's 2014 now. Since it's always night, the stars are always moving. The whole screen is dark, but you can still see the brightest stars moving around. Tierras is gone. Everyone in Ghostgate was gone. I don't know where they went. They're not in any of the nearby caves. But there's new stuff. People still don't say anything, but their eyes are bleeding. It's so dark that even with a light spell, you have to get right up against them to see, but they are there. Little dark streaks coming down from their eyes. I think I gotta be getting close. I know this is stupid and there's no way to pay. The payoff is going to be worth it, but I just want to be able to say I stuck it out.
I got that one during the day. Later that night, I got a follow-up email. Some of the plans aren't moving right. It's pissing me off. If this keeps up, I won't be able to keep track anymore. It's almost 2015 now, I think. Fuck. You know, I just now noticed that there aren't any monsters anymore either. I'm completely alone outside. The main quest people's bodies are still lying around, though. I want to check on them. I don't need headphones anymore, so I just leave them off. When he shrieks, it's like he's screaming right into my ear. I think I even kind of anticipate it. He's around a lot more now, a lot closer. He's different from the other people who started showing up, remember? They keep running around, just where I can barely see them. I have to admit, it's kind of creepy at night. Sometimes, when I go to the bathroom or whatever, I swear I can see something out of the corner of my eye. I'm keeping all the lights on now.
I sent him a letter, jokingly telling him to get some real sleep, and left it at that. 2 mornings later, I found this in my email. It was the last thing I got from him. After this, he stopped responding completely. I just got up from a fucked up dream, I think. The assassin shrieked at me, and when I opened my eyes, he was right there, crouching over me. His arms and legs were longer, more like a spider's. I tried to push him away, but when I touched him, my hands just went inside and I couldn't get them loose again. Like he was made of tar or something. Then I woke up. I thought he was gone. When I looked up at the monitor, I wasn't where I was. I was at the Corpusarium with Yagram. For once, the light was okay, and I could see him all bloated on those mechanical spider legs. I sat down at the computer and he started talking to me. Not in the box, but really talking to me, in Tierras' voice. He knew things about me. He told me things I had never told anyone, some things I totally forgot about. He told me that almost nobody had made it this far, and that the door would open up soon. I just had to hang on a little while longer. He said I'd know when it was time. He said it might be the first one to see what was inside.
So is this what happened to the Dwemer? Okay, sorry. And then I woke up for real. But it was at the computer, and I still wasn't where I was. I'm swimming out to the Citadel Island, and I can hear this tapping. It's at my window. It's over on the left. So I'm sending you this, because I left my laptop up by my bed, just to the right. Just a little tap, 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 like he's knocking his finger against the glass. I might still be dreaming now. So, I guess that's the end of the story. I know there's a few other stories floating around about this mod, but this is the only one I know is as true as far as it goes. I deleted my JVK copy. Sorry. I deleted my JVK copy pretty much right after I gave up. But I'd like to get the mod again. If anyone still has a copy of the file, I'd just see some of this for myself.
And that's the end.
Yep.
I can't believe I kept it together.
You're an asshole.
He said things about me that I didn't tell anyone. Like about that affair I had with Marilyn Monroe. And then
Which
had her
one?
murdered.
Hey, that was my brother that did that.
Jackie, I promise it wasn't me.
That and every time a spider was mentioned, specifically when you mentioned it, Gemma, I was like, oh, it's a Catherine of Aragon.
Oh, I'm never gonna get free of that, am I?
Never.
Oh, good.
So, yeah.
Come on.
I'll be honest, this story it had me at first, and then it kind of like petered out and lost me.
Yeah.
Like I liked it when it was like more rooted into something like that seemed tangible and sensible. Where it was like this guy just describing a mod, and then this dude, the hints towards the supernatural at the end. I was like, oh.
I agree with you there. Because obviously it's been about 10 years since I read it, and I enjoyed it at the time. It was much better than I remember. It's much better than I remembered. Call it Number Station. Like I prefer this one. I think that the writer just decided to. It seems like he kind of didn't know what to do with it at the end or how to end it. Supernatural stuff into it, but I really enjoyed all of the kind of the atmosphere and like the just the idea of like kind of reminded me of Local 58 with all the Watch the Sky stuff.
Yeah.
And
I think you could fix a fair amount of that by having, again, alluding to something a little bit more sinister that we understand to be the case in the real world. Like maybe the more he digs into it, the more he like uncovers like maybe some weird dark web shit on here, whereas like some snuff has been sneaked onto this like fucking like this this hack, well, not this hack, this mod by some weirdo who just like had some really twisted sense of humor or something like that.
Yeah, like you can tell how old this this creepypasta is because like it's probably one of the most, I think it's one of the earliest video game creepypastas because of like when you I think it was like written in like 2006 or 2007. Like around and when you think of like, and whilst there is a couple of cliche things that you would say are cliche now with like the eyes are bleeding and like and just a couple of things, I think they managed. I think this one compared to more recent ones is a much better told story than like, and then there was blood and then this guy and then the sky was red and then the people were going at me.
I would rank this a lot. Like, when did this come out initially? Like
2007 maybe.
Yeah, I would rank this much higher than a lot of its contemporaries at the time. Like, it feels like someone who actually has something resembling a creative spark. It is obviously someone who is relatively well versed when it comes to modding, or at the very least has an interest in it.
Yeah.
And like that is always a benefit when it comes to stories, the video game related stories especially, where it actually, if you actually know what the fuck you're talking about, you can better convey it to people. And so that helps, I guess, root it even deeper into some semblance of reality for the reader to better engage ourselves in. But again, I think that where they decided to go later on in the story with his friend, I guess, losing sleep, and like, oh, the assassin's actually a thing that's gonna come and, I don't know, tickle his pickle while he sleeps. Like, I think that kind of is where, like, it's one of those things where I think he just, like you said, he probably didn't really know where he was going with it.
And Mike says, I'd be more spooked by Watch the Sky if it wasn't a normal NPC guard line in Skyrim that I've heard a shit zillion times.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like, I feel bad, but ultimately I'm just not the audience for these kind of creepypastas. I just do not care for gaming creepypastas because it's like
You do
when
not
they're
care for
bad,
gays?
when they're bad, they're at least funny to make fun of. Like we have Sonic.exe and all those other ones that try to rip it off and rip off Ben Drown and shit. But like when they're competently written, they're just boring to me. Like you either have like, oh, I stumbled upon something that wasn't supposed to be there in the game, and it's like, okay, whatever. And then, or it's like, oh, here's a spooky mod. I'm like, great, it's a spooky mod. I don't care.
I would not necessarily even disagree with that. You're basically speaking about a matter of preference, so I can't really argue against that. But I would say that the appeal for someone like me is like, I don't know how to explain, like, and this is a very odd example. Like, there was a point in time when I initially heard the story years ago, Squidward Suicide. I actually did like Squidward Suicide when I first heard it. And that was because, what was that?
I didn't, but to be fair, I didn't read Squidward Suicide. I didn't actually hear Squidward Suicide until the boys
until
did
you
it.
went on Bad Creepypasta with them as an English teacher, and
then I changed my nationality entirely.
My accent is so different. I still get mistaken for the English teacher. I've been on the show for 7 years this year.
And then I changed my identity and moved to Scotland.
Suicide. Then I just pause itself and realize it's shit.
But what I initially liked about Squidward Suicide was going into detail about the process what people go through in the animation studio, things that I wasn't privy to at the time, and a fair amount of it's contradicted by information that I know in hindsight, naturally. But by the times that I wasn't aware of what goes on behind the scenes, like, I felt that there was like a more of a connect between that and me. The whole things with the gore and the over the top descriptions, the weird dialogue describing, like, oh, the sound was so realistic. It felt like we were literally listening to the forest and the speakers. Like, that's the kind of stupid shit takes me out of it. Yeah. Although I do actually think that the idea of it is more interesting than I think people get credit for. Like some lunatic like snuck his snuff film in the studio and just bounced. They're like, oh, that's interesting.
I do get where you're coming from with that. Like, I think with someone who can actually could write a really interesting premise surrounding that, but everyone just takes the bare bones, especially with Lost Episode Creepypastas, they just take the bare bones from Squidward Suicide and don't improve on it.
Yeah.
Which,
let's just take a very nostalgic cartoon and then we throw gore in it, and that ruins your childhood, so it's scurry.
Yeah, that
hey,
and
guys,
Jeff the Killer have like probably the most rip-offs.
So yeah, we were going to do a Christmas special this year, but me and Jacob got COVID, so that didn't end up happening. But like,
soured. I mean, we could have done it. It's just that it soured our Christmas spirits, and the Krampus came.
But we will probably like do an episode, like we will do that episode because it wasn't like a Christmas episode. It was going to be the Christmas special, but it was like it wasn't a Christmas themed episode like Christmas Krampus or something.
Why don't you guys ever do an Arbor Day special, huh? Don't you care about the trees?
And besides, you guys joined us for the Star Wars Holiday Special watch party.
Yes, we did.
So that I was good for Christmas.
I wasn't going to. I'm not doing that, no.
The one where Kobe interrupted his own story.
But
I have self-respect. No.
The one where Kobe interrupted his own story because he got so fed up with the movie.
Yeah, I would apologize for missing that, but
no, don't.
I'm not sorry.
I'm not either. I'm actually glad, and I'll do it. I'll not do it again.
I would rather have been
I would
hanging
rather
out with
eat
my
out the
college
the
friends.
roll-killed skunk in Washington Beach.
I
You know what
just,
I did watch over Christmas that I did throughout my own free will is I watched the Lego Star Wars late holiday special.
oh,
Okay.
What?
I will
Is that true?
say that it's nowhere near as bad as the Star Wars holiday special, but I had more fun watching the Star Wars holiday special.
Oh, come on. You don't like watching Chewbacca's dad or granddad jerk off to some black lady?
And they actually managed to get somebody worse to voice Rey.
Oh my god, it's real.
Oh, hold on. Oh, wait. Well, also, wait. There was actually the Star Wars Holiday Special. That actually did have one decent song. It was that the one about the tavern closing. I thought that song was pretty charming.
that was the one
I
that
don't-
made Rudy start crying the previous year.
I thought it was charming.
Not-
Everything else was
not
horrible.
emotion, but
I was
because,
drinking, so I do not remember the song, and nor do I care to.
Oh no, don't worry,
Yeah,
I'll
it's
send
not-
it to you.
Just
Please.
because I enjoyed it, that doesn't mean I want you to listen to it.
True.
Because
was
that
like-
will require retaining information about the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah. But yeah, the story we're gonna do is at least one that I suppose it's anticipated, I guess, and it's not
Oh,
voice box.
yeah.
Oh, you're sending me this shit now, huh?
Yeah,
When I'm sick and not feeling well, I got COVID. You're gonna send this to me, huh, Manny?
Manny, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
we should rewind to page 65 of part 2. That way.
Oh,
No, I
um,
don't have it
before-
anymore.
Before we go, I'm just gonna get up for a real. My sister called me. I want to see what they want, and also I'm gonna get something to drink. So
Alright.
you guys talk about your favorite boy bands, your favorite K-pop artists. While I'm gone, I expect this to be a scintillating conversation between all of you.
Those don't exist.
Good. I mean, I don't overall hate the Backstreet Boys. I like 2 songs by the Backstreet Boys. Does that help?
Yes.
The Beatles.
But Vin said your K-pop bands.
Not
Oh,
K.
never mind then.
Like I don't know any K-pop bands. I think the only K-pop I can think of off the top of my head is Psy.
Why do you even know that?
Welcome Gangnam Style.
Because of Gangnam Style, and then like they did a song that was like he did a song with Snoop Dogg called Hangover, and it's like it just goes hangover, 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 hangover,
Oh,
bend over,
God.
hangover, hangover. that's the whole song.
I love that you
Welcome
that you are aware of the meme ones and not even like the ones that spread through the internet like cancer, like BTS.
I avoid BTS.
I mean, but at least you've heard of it because the internet won't let you not hear about him.
Yeah, like BTS to me is like an anagram or not anagram, whatever the word is for words. You know the word where like you
Acronym?
shorten- That's it. Acronym. There we go.
I
It just
always,
makes me think it's
whenever
like
I
an
hear,
acronym for something like a kind of disease.
well, whenever, like, I know the BTS like stands for like something like more in Korean. I don't remember what because I have a friend who
Hold
explained it
on.
to me.
Let me get Rich Evans to speak the language there.
Is everyone done talking over me? Great, because I always think
Because
of this
Rich
joke.
Evans is just the coolest guy ever.
So BTS, right?
No, I'm done.
It's not fun, is it?
So I always just think of a joke a YouTuber made. So he's like reviewing fashion, like on the Grammys, and all their red carpet looks, and he was like, "Oh, so this is them," and he's like, "What does BTS stand for? Bitch those shoes, because bitch those shoes," and he zooms in on one member who was just wearing these shiny as fuck dress shoes that were bright silver, and so now it doesn't matter what acronym actually means. The band is Bitch Those Shoes to me.
Wow. Like, I used to work with a South Korean guy at my old job, and like I was thankfully I avoided a lot of Korean pop because of the fact that he owned a Japanese restaurant, so he put on a bunch of Japanese music instead. So that was a lot. So that was a lot better.
Interesting.
Yeah. Still, like even though they fired me because I broke my ankle.
Yeah, those fuckers.
Yeah. Although, like the guy who works in the kitchen, he keeps on like saying hi to me when I walk past because the shop's just at the bottom of my street. He doesn't know that I got fired, and he just thinks that I left on my own volition. Like, and I'm like, did your wife tell you that she fired me via the person that I hired to be the manager? Like, do you know that? Like, and that she fired me because I broke my ankle. Like, do you know that?
Well, I know now.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
But yeah, working at a Japanese restaurant was interesting. Although I got called a weeb the other day because I knew what tamago was, and I'm like, yeah, well, because we sold it in the restaurant. I know what the food is.
It's okay, Gemma. You're our weeb.
I'm
And
not a weeb.
doesn't that just mean egg?
It's just egg. It's like an omelet.
See, like, even I know that, and I don't know jack shit
Mike
about
says,
Japanese stuff.
Mike says, I avoid K-pop by listening to J-pop. Is it really that much better? I mean,
Yes.
the answer is no.
The only like Japanese music I enjoy is stupid 90s Eurobeat.
Yeah.
From like Initial D, and the song that's the opening for Death Parade by Bradio, whatever the band's name is, because it's really happy and I like it.
You've lost me.
The only J-pop I'm aware of is Lady Baby, who is a giant man who dresses in a pink dress and a pink pigtailed wig.
Oh,
Lady
my.
Baby is like, I've noticed just recently. This is just something I've noticed. Rappers today, there is like two rappers. At least one of them is called Lil Baby, and the other one's called Da Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's next? Lil Tiny Infant.
And Gemma, Mike
No,
Mike
it's a little
asks,
embryo.
do you know what Keikaku is?
No.
Oh, you see, it's all according to Keikaku.
Am I missing something?
Death Note. All according to
Okay.
Keikaku. Keikaku is
Oh,
Japanese for plan.
Oh yeah, Kakaku. I've been watching Death Note with Jacob and his mum because they
Base.
hadn't watched it before, and they're really enjoying it thus far.
Now that makes you a weeb.
Hey, Death Note. I like.
I don't
Okay,
mean
right.
such a word.
I'm going to say this right now. I like some anime, but most anime I
I've got ice
dislike.
cream for everyone.
Stuff I like,
And by everyone, I
but
mean just
most of
me.
it is garbage.
Yeah.
I ain't sure no fucking ice cream, you honkies.
I'm just messing with you. Like,
Ugh.
I am no weeb. I am weeb.
I'm gonna put my earbuds back on, and I better hear some talk about K-pop, like
Weeb
I
adjacent.
instructed.
But Gemma, we
I'm
still
back.
have to make our Death Note spin-off sitcom.
Oh yeah.
with Ryuk playing the Urkel role, just like flies in, breaks a lamp. Did I do that?
I don't hear talk about K-pop.
And we need to give Vince a recap of Gotham High.
Yeah. And Mike says, little puny small baby man.
look,
I
I feel the fact that none of you acknowledged my joke about the next rapper being called Lil Embryo is very hurtful.
Little fetus.
Lil Beppis.
Lil Beppis will return.
You're gonna be sued by Super Meat Boy.
And she better really overreact if she eats a Carolina Reaper this time.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
I don't think there's a such thing as an overreaction to eating a Carolina Reaper.
I still just crack up at your reaction, like, Cope's like, how do you feel? No!
I've tried Carolina Reaper sriracha before.
I have
You can't
Carolina
pay me.
Reaper sauce in the house. I got a lot of hot sauce at Christmas.
Nice.
You should make a chili.
I used to like hot sauce, and then my body said, "Okay, you're gonna treat me like that. I'll show you, fucker."
Volcanus.
But the next big thing that I'll be doing at home is on the 25th of January is Burns Night, and I will be making Scottish food with so that'll be like veggie haggis, neeps and tatties with whiskey sauce and iron brew. Not iron brew in the dish. Iron brew is a separate beverage.
Which no one will be drinking but you.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
Mike, get on your woman's case and tell her to mail me the iron brew.
Yeah, I tried to so I did try and mail Manny iron brew, but they were trying going, oh yeah, you can do that, but pay $60.
Is that beverage that they were making fun of you for liking?
Is
Yeah.
Mike our only ended up as our only watcher yet again?
Yeah. You guys didn't read in the chat when I posted it, because they were laying into, and I said, I want to put a super chat. I was like, well, you don't remember that line from Scarface, I make fun of a Scottish person for fun, but for super chats, I gotta carve her up real nice.
I think there's just no way that I think there's just all the time that even if they can't make fun of Toby, they'll make fun of me for being Scottish.
It's hard to make fun of Matt because he's always so much quicker to the draw than most people.
Yeah, even though even in his presence, not on a chat or something, even if I'm just sitting there, he'll think of the thing that I'm about to say, and it's like, what are you?
He's
I think I said it
fucking Dixon.
Matt is a wit, and you know what they say, wit is shit, funny is money.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm jealous of Matt because Matt, whilst also having a stutter, is quicker to the draw when I'm trying to think, when my joke is sitting there in my mouth and my speech impediment just makes it go bye-bye immediately.
I feel listening to you guys. You hear me half the time, right?
Yeah, it's like I'm just literally about to say something, and then my stutter will lock up, and then I'm constantly just going and then by the time they're finished, it's been 5 minutes, and my joke will not make sense anymore.
Well, again, I'm the guy who accidentally brought JFK into Morrowind. Okay.
I mean, have you fucking heard me speak? I don't even have a speech impediment. I just can't talk well under pressure.
You don't talk good.
You can't talk at all.
No,
I write better than I speak.
I'm the same. I write better than I speak. Although I must say that my stutter has gotten a lot better since I first started the show, because you'll see me in the Terraria episode, and I'm trying really hard to say Matt gets decapitated. And I just go, Matt get decapitated.
His cap was detated from his head.
Speaking of which, Gemma, we should play Terraria together. Why not?
Yes. Where do you have it? Do you have it on Steam or do you have it on PS4 or whatever?
I have both.
I'll find a way to get it.
I unironically love Terraria. It's one of my favorite games.
And Mike says, I love the artwork, but at some point my brain decided that Raptor was licking Kenzie's head, and I can't unsee it. You've heard of a cow lick, what about a dino lick?
Oh, Manny, as you'll get this reference, it's as if Raptor is his hand on Kenzie's shoulder, going, "Are we bonding?"
Yes. After he's cut off her leg.
Is this
Oh,
a
God.
reference?
Yes, it's a reference.
Is that okay? I just noticed this. Like I just look at the screen to see what see what he was talking about. And then I realized that icon, that tall gentleman that's at the end, is that supposed to be me?
Yeah.
Why am my
One-
skin? My skin is not that dark.
I had limited options.
There's one thing that I really need to do is I need to update a picture of myself because all the fan art I'm getting of me now is like me with longer hair and like my hair has been like really short and cropped for about a year now.
Hey, look at what I got on the screen. I got up to date.
Yeah. Yes, you did get up to date, but like I got this like there was some really good fan art that got released recently of somebody doing us in the style of the Ricky Gervais show, which I absolutely adored.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
that
loved
was
it.
awesome. I saw that.
Yeah, but I'm like, I really need to post a picture of myself with like my short hair because I'd like to see someone do that because that
Put
would
up
be
some
kind of
more
cool.
fan art of your boy
Yeah.
while I eat this crunchy munch loudly
Yeah.
on stream.
And I meant to say though,
If anyone
Gemma.
Fan art of Logan, that'd be fantastic because like he's cute and he's gonna be 12 in June, and I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
And you can't believe it.
Shut up.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
I am going to draw fan art of a standoff between Logan and Rocket Fist Rick, but then ultimately Rocket Fist Rick decides no, he's too powerful, so they team up and they become the world's best crime fighting duo.
Yes.
Speaking of which, Manny, Logan's new like favorite Christmas present has been the shirt you got him. He's worn it pretty much all the time since
Aw.
Christmas.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm glad.
You crying?
No, shut up.
No, you know the whole thing with the Grinch is hard growing 3 sizes. This is same thing's happening to Manny, and is actually like causing him terrible pain. Because
I'm feeling.
no, it's just his heart's not big enough for his rib cage now.
But I meant to say though about. Okay, seriously though, that I'm so glad that he likes it. But what was that?
Yep.
Do you guys mind if I show you something in thing?
I meant to say when you brought up like trying to ship the Iron Brew, I was like, yeah, you are not gonna pay fucking £60 to mail me some soda. But then I was like, oh, but you know, she already bought it for me, so now I feel bad. Then like half second later, I was like, wait, she can probably just drink it herself.
Yeah, I was like, I had them in the fridge, right? And just sort of like, and then I just was like, well, I must do something with it.
I just imagine though, like when you're like waiting to mail it, Cope's just like either mail it or dump it down the sink. Just get it the fuck out of my fridge.
That sounds like a Cove thing to say.
I don't remember what I paid for, but I do remember it was expensive to ship the little bears that little monster bears that I made for you, Gemma. But I was like, God damn it, these are getting sent there one way or another.
They're so
So,
adorable.
I have a
They're
question.
in our front room, like at the moment. Is it they're in our front room, like where like with a bunch of other bears? They're all like together, and they're right next to me on the sofa.
Oh, I still have to make Toby and Matt's, and then you guys can have a complete set.
Yes, and then, like at one point, I think we're gonna like when you do send the complete set, is like take a picture of them all together and like maybe use them as avatars.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Last Airbenders.
I recently just got more safety eyes that have the right sizes, so I think they should have the right size noses in there somewhere too. So I can
Cool.
get started on those because I've got nothing to do right now. I've finished up all gift commissions. I say commissions. I don't ask anyone to pay me for these.
Oh, that's really
Yes.
cool, by the way. Is that like who is it? 'Cause it's reminding me of like Asura's Wrath.
What?
I think it's from that My Hero Academia. Is that what that's called?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Looks really nice.
Yeah.
Did you draw that?
Bakugo.
No, my
Very
nephew
awesome.
did.
Oh, holy shit.
He asked for some like he messaged me out of the blue, and I guess like, hey, these like really like, I would say a high end, like, because he's serious about like drawing and like learning how to draw. Like he wants to do it professionally.
Aw.
Nice.
And he had like, hey, if you could you give me these for Christmas? And I didn't answer him. I was gonna get it, but I didn't want to say I would because I wanted to surprise him. And so I like ordered on Amazon that and like some like other like these really nice pens that I thought he would like too. And apparently that's all he's been using. It made me really happy to see that this is what came out of it.
Tell him I said he did a great job.
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Tell us
And,
that he did a good
although
job too.
That reminds me, Gemma, something that you and I finally have to do is watch My Hero Academia.
Yes, that's
I'm too used to being able to binge watch a series to its end when it's already finished.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I'll wait for it to be over. It's like, you got a while to wait, dickhead.
Yeah.
So like we're trying to watch Doom Patrol at the moment because Doom Patrol is being released weekly on our streaming site, and like I've got to a point in the show where I'm at a bit of a loss at what's kind of going on, and I'm hoping it gets better because I'm kind of like, oh, it was really, really good, and now it's kind of lacking, and I'm not that interested in this particular plot.
What's happening?
So like the episode we last watched was the one where like the blob lady goes to the past.
They
Yeah.
play shitty games that suck ass.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a new DC villain. She just goes back in time and plays like Atari.
I'm not. I don't want to like color your interpretation or anything, but the whole part about her being in the past, I was not really entertained by.
Does it get better? That's the main thing.
I'd say in the last episode and a half.
Oh.
Seems to be a recurring problem with like a lot of these what's the term, serialized shows now, is that they always start off strong because again, you guys start off strong or weak. Like there's no in between. There's like you never just have like an okay startup. But the ones that start off strong, they always end up petering off at some point. Always. But how much everyone liked WandaVision, right? WandaVision was good.
It started off really well, and then and then he decided to try and explain it, which I hated.
And then Loki came, and Loki, well, it wasn't very good at all to begin with, but
yeah, I kind of stopped watching the Marvel shows on Disney Plus after WandaVision. I think I watched the first episode of The Falcon and Winter Soldier and was bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
But like one show that doesn't start off particularly great, but it gets better, is a show that we're showing like Jacob's mom at the moment. We're showing her Supernatural, which has a bit of a rocky start, but by season 2 it's fantastic.
You are the fucking fifth person. Like this. Watch Supernatural. Watch it. My former coworker and good friend. Like that's all he like that and a few other things were only things he would ever talk about. And he would make constant Supernatural references to me, and I would have no idea what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah, I have a cousin who's constantly posting Supernatural memes, and I'm like, I mean, the memes are funny. I should probably check out this show.
Yeah,
also, I don't know anything about Supernatural, but at the same time, if you're a Supernatural shipper, I hope fucking hate you. But then again, that's because you're a shipper, and I don't like shippers.
I hate shippers as well. I used to I started watching the show back in like the early the late thousands. Like I think I started watching it around 2009, and like that was back in the day with the IMDb message boards. And I used to get people used to hate me on there because I would be talking about something that I enjoyed, and they would be like, "No, you're not supposed to enjoy that. You're supposed to enjoy DesTL and this and that." And I'm like, "No, I do not enjoy that part. That's not even the thing."
Who?
Dean and Castiel shipping.
No.
Eat my fucking ass.
Yeah.
I'm sick of people like that.
No, but
Gemma,
it's the subtext.
Oh god, and they're like, oh yeah, the subtext, they're totally gay for each other. I'm like, can't you not have just two men be friends?
Yeah, we talked
Please.
about
Oh,
this.
no,
I went into like a whole passionate like I actually got like genuinely heated when it was you, me, and someone else, right? I think it was Bioman, where I don't like the idea that there's no sense understanding of camaraderie anymore when it comes to depictions of like friends in media.
Yeah.
Like
Captain
two
America
dudes can
and
like
Bucky.
just Captain America and Bucky, like Sam and Frodo.
Yeah.
Like those are like the two. Like that to me is like the quintessential bromance depicted in anything. Like these two guys are like went through like hell together, and they stick to each other thick and thin because they're best friends. But no, it's like it's strictly because it's like it's fucking Harry Bilbo Baggins in there.
But
I was like going back to like the early days of Backroom Pasta when people were shipping Jacob and Toby together. Like people were like in like the stream chat going, "Oh, Jacob and Toby X Toby ship," and then like I'm just like, "Hey guys, can we just ship them as friends if that's what you're gonna do? Like they're friends."
yeah.
Like,
Can that be a
I
new
think-
thing? Can that no really? Can that be a real new thing where it's a divergent shipping of like these two would be so good together as great platonic friends?
Yeah.
I'd like that. I would actually go for that 100%. Like, I hate all this. I really don't. I'm not. Like, people were like, "Oh, shipping is healthy. You're allowed to do that." And I'm like, no,
it's the
it's
opposite
not.
of healthy.
If you're like a preteen or a preteen at any like I don't think it's like whatever. It's a phase. You grow out of it. If you're a grown ass adult and you still indulge in this, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Care if like I don't care if you're a grown ass adult and you look at like a relationship that's being portrayed in fiction and are like, that's really adorable. I really like how this relationship between these two characters is written. It's very cute and blah blah blah.
No,
When you see two people in real life and you are like, they need to fuck right now and I need to watch, like, go get help.
Yeah.
It's
Go get help, especially if it was you were shipping Dan and Phil, Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie, and literally everyone else but his wife.
I remember
Yeah.
I remember someone told me about it, and I looked it up myself. It was a stream that John Wolf, he used to be called Harshly Critical, and he tends to stream with another guy called Craven. And Craven is, well, for one, he's gay, and two, he's married. And they tried to like, his fans like tried to like ship them together, and John put a quick stop to that. It's like that's very disrespectful of you. And people are like, oh, why? Is because you're homophobic? It's like, no, it's because he's gay and married, and I'm straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's also married too now.
Well, I'm gonna head off, guys. But enjoy
I'm sorry.
Gotham. Like, and enjoy Gotham. Hi.
No, suffer with us.
You
almost
condescending
over.
fucking bitch.
Gemma, I just want to say real
enjoy
quick.
Gotham. I go fuck yourself, Gemma.
The subtext thing that I said though was specifically about the episode with the students putting on the play, talking about Sam and Dean. Like, no, you got to read the subtext.
You can't spell subtext without sex. Fuck you. Bye.
Bye, Gemma. Glad you could
Gemma.
join us.
Stay in the chat and say base things again.
I might do. I might. See ya.
Roast literally everyone again.
That was
No,
so
suffer
great.
with us. It's almost over.
No. Okay, so what's the recap? Tell me, what did I miss?
The recap.
Catwoman duped Batman.
I'm sorry, what?
She fooled them all, and that her kidnapping wasn't real. She orchestrated all of that.
Why?
Her Harvey Dent's kidnapping was an accident and a little oopsie, but like she still couldn't, I guess, didn't have enough control over her minions. She had 2 minions apparently, who still cut up his eye for literally no reason other than Two-Face wink nod.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, I don't. That's not too. I'm not too bewildered at her fooling them, right? Like whatever. So was there anything to allude to this?
No.
No.
Any like hints in the story?
Nada. Zip. Zitch. Nothing at
So
all.
why did she want to kidnap Bruce Wayne?
For the monies.
Yeah.
Oh, because
When
she's a
literally-
fucking.
When literally she could have just asked him, like,
yeah.
hey,
And he's
I'll pay you back after, like, I get my inheritance. Can you lend me this money to send? But no. Oh, and, like, even, like, Bruce Wayne points out, like, money is no object. You could have come to me. I don't need you.
Oh, because so she decided to kidnap someone because she's a strong, independent woman who need no man.
Literally, that's the reason why.
I don't need your help.
Does the story depict it as being wrong? Like, is she depicted as being in the wrong for having done this?
No.
I mean, like, yes and no, but we'll get to that.
So okay, so
right now, like,
So
is she good?
Bruce is like, right now, like, Bruce is like being portrayed as the one who's being reasonable. Like, you didn't have to go through all of this and stuff, and is like trying to talk her down. But we'll get to why it seems like she's not being portrayed as completely in the wrong either once we get to that.
Is she gonna pretend to kill herself?
who knows?
No, let's not get
But
ahead of ourselves.
Let's get started. So
Okay, so when he woke up
Yes.
in the fucking he got knocked out by Bebop and Rocksteady, and what happened after that?
He saves Selena really easily, and then they go back to Wayne Manor. They fuck. She goes back to her house. Joker goes to pay her a visit. They fuck, and then Bruce Wayne, and then she's like, well, I love them both. A triangle's a perfect shape. I don't have to choose one. And then, obviously, when the
Fuck.
two of them have a problem with that, she gets all pissy, like, oh, you guys are so immature, and then runs
You
off.
fucking
Now they're like,
gutter
oh my
trash
god,
slut.
missing.
Fuck
Where is
you.
Selena?
yeah, but the funny thing is, like, now Bruce and Jack have become like bros, basically.
Well, now, like, he's like, Joker's like, where's Selena? And is like, oh, let's put this behind us while we work together to find her, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Fuck her.
So like some
Okay, wait, hold-
girl wearing a dumb cat mask, wonder who that is like, come to the top of this building, and she takes off the mask and it's Selena.
Even though that mask looks more like Bane's Med luchador mask than a fucking cat.
So
Tell
okay,
me I'm
wait.
wrong.
So were they at all not? Okay, hold on. Wait, didn't Jack was pretty open about being fancying Selena, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like he was also like he was like, oh, we hooked up a few times, but we're not together. But then he sees Bruce and Selena together, and he's like, you knew we were together.
Yeah.
I'm about to say it kind of violates the bro code, but at the same time, they're not bros. So I don't know. It's not that bad. I mean, it's still bad. The fact that it was like,
It's almost as if this thing was shittily written.
It's like, yeah, I'm the town bicycle. Everyone gets a ride.
But
Okay.
yeah, so Bruce was like you didn't have to do any of this. I told you. He's told her like 3 times, I'm here for you, and she's like, yeah, that's nice, but I had to do it on myself, cause yeah, girl boss.
Yeah, here, like let me just read the page before.
1 second, let me say my fingers 3 times with the crook of my neck. There we go.
So the page before, which we can't show because we don't have it anymore, but it's Bruce. I don't understand if this is about money. I don't want your help, Bruce Wayne. I can take care of myself and my dad.
No, you can't. Because if you could do that, you wouldn't resort to kidnapping. That's not taking care of yourself, you goofy bitch. Kill
and
yourself.
Then he goes, but I'm here for you. I've always been here for you. And he's like, she goes, that's sweet, Bruce, but all I needed from you was to stop rescuing me so I could do it myself.
What does that mean? What
I
the
don't
fuck
know.
does that mean? Like, stop saving me from these bad situations so I can.
That
Is she saying
I
that
put
I want to suffer
myself
the
in. that she's literally been putting herself in.
Yep. Yeah, if you
Now,
just let them believe I was kidnapped, this would have been over weeks ago.
You are the stupidest fucking. Just,
All
Yeah,
right, now let's
and-
get into the thick of it.
Yeah,
I
now
hope you.
Jack
hope you-
has.
I hope you fucking like fall directly on your neck when you hit the ground, and your father finds you and dies of a broken heart.
So yeah, so now Jack has made it to the roof. Selena! Don't jump! But still I say, hello you.
Amateur.
Glad you made it for the final act.
God damn it. The Nostradamus quote, tomorrow I won't be here. What the hell do you think you're doing?
What? God.
He doesn't know, doesn't he? Does he? Or he? No, maybe that's Bruce.
Doesn't know what? The top 5 reasons why video games suck ass these days.
So wait, what? Who voiced Bruce?
Me.
Raptor.
Oh,
She played you, man. She played both of us.
I can't remember what voice I
greatest
did.
detective. Hola,
Smart is
can
Selena
you
Kyle
just-
supposed to be?
What?
How smart is Selena Kyle supposed to be in relation to? All I know is she's a good cat burglar, and that's it.
She's supposed to be
not-
like crafty enough.
Like she's very cunning and stuff, but like
I'll be honest, I always thought that Catwoman was a boring character.
she gets away, obviously, with what she does, not because she outsmarts Bruce, but because they're both aware that they have feelings for each other, and sometimes she uses that to her advantage.
Yeah, like she is...
never. I don't remember ever recalling her usually being able to outsmart the world's greatest detective.
Yeah, I mean, even in like the animated series, there were so many times where she thought like, okay, I've outsmarted him, but then realizes, oh, he took the thing that I stole when we were getting close. I thought I was tricking him. But like, you know, like she is smart, but she's not like the mastermind character that they're showing her to be here.
And that, like, she's she's a very like an anti-hero who's out for herself, and like, what is this whole mastermind trying to take care of my dad bullshit?
Yeah, like this Machiavellian scheme just to get some money for her dad.
But even though she's just a poor, misunderstood cat burglar who did no wrong.
Okay, wait, hold on. So she faked her own. Why did she fake her own kidnapping?
For ransom money or something.
From who?
The Waynes.
Yeah. You see, that's the thing. Like, we're still trying to. We assume it's the Waynes.
So that's still not so herself.
Yeah.
Even though Bruce is like, hey, if you need the money, 3 times.
I mean, her original plan was to kidnap Bruce, so that way Alfred would pay the money for his return. She would just give him back and then use it. Ultimately, and then like the other plan was for like them to all beat him at poker, but Bruce just somehow was like just the world's best poker player rather than detective.
That was part of the plan.
Yep.
That was plan B. That was plan B.
Oh no, that was plan A. Plan B was the kidnapping.
Oh, that's.
And then they decided, then she was like, all right, I'll fake my own kidnapping. Ultimately, the idea was always to get Bruce's money.
Yeah, the poker thing was basically
for some reason,
I guess we should have taken more than 30 seconds to come up with a plan.
It's all about her pride. She can't just ask him for the money because that wouldn't be girl boss.
But no, I'm stuck on the fact that I desperately need money for my dad. You know what's a guaranteed way for me to get money? I'm gonna gamble at fucking party.
Well, no, he didn't gamble her money. She had Joker do it.
Yeah.
She was gambling someone else's money.
Yep.
This is the most selfish, self-centered, idiotic dipshit. How did you get fooled by this person?
Oh,
But
it gets
Vince-
worse. Shall we continue?
Oh, but you see, Vince, that's the thing. Like, this is clearly the author's self-insert. She thinks she's better than everyone.
And Vince, her daddy's sick. Don't we feel bad for her because her daddy's sick?
Yeah, and Bruce Wayne's fucking dad's dead.
Manny, you're not a cat. Stop trying to be a furry.
Enough.
How dare you? Yeah, so, part of the plan. So Harvey Dent got fucking brutalized by his kidnappers, right?
By like the two. So you see on this page the two people Joker's introducing her to?
Yeah.
Them, they fucked up Harvey's face. Literally for no reason.
So that leads me to believe they would do the same thing to Bruce if they had caught him.
Probably.
So she was perfectly. So it's fine in her mind. I need to stand on my own 2 feet. I'm gonna have this guy kidnapped. They're gonna beat the absolute dog shit out of him, and then we're gonna steal his money.
And she's
because-
like never shown like skull, like she's never, at least to my recollection, correct me if I'm wrong, if one of you guys remember, she was never shown like after they cut Harvey Dent's face. She was never like, "What are you doing? That wasn't part of the plan. He's not even supposed to be here."
Oh
Like,
no,
oh,
she was
well.
just like, okay, good thing we got rid of him since he was the wrong guy.
It's like, yeah, throw him back.
This is ridiculous.
All right, so shall we continue?
Yes.
Hey, can you get the keys to the janitor's? You can get the keys to the janitor's closet, right?
Oh my god. Yeah, considering the janitor is my uncle. Poor...
Convenient.
What a
No,
fucking fight.
here we go. Poor kid privileges, right?
This was never established before.
Okay, so they're just
Wait,
like
so how did you
implying
have money to
you're a
gamble
janitor, you're poor?
with? How did he have the money to gamble with?
Well, because he's always dumpster
Yeah.
diving for $10, as we saw.
So
in the
she was
beginning.
she was willing to have a poor kid gamble his money away at a chance to get Bruce's.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he wanted to fuck her. He was in, like, he knew that part of the plan thing.
No, it's not her. No, this is not on him. It's on her.
Oh, I
For
know.
someone who's like financially not in a good situation to
No,
use
but, like,
him.
it's okay because she fucks him occasionally.
Yeah.
I mean,
This
to
is
be
her
fair,
mentality.
All right.
I mean, to be fair, I've gone on record by saying I have no sympathy for simps, so I guess it's fine.
What do you need them for?
My sweat editors in the lost and found.
Sweat editors?
Okay, but you could just ask to get
My
that.
redditors are in the lost and found.
Anyway, be careful with those. They unlock every door in school. What?
You fucking.
And I need them back or I'll get in trouble.
Whoopsie
Guys,
doodles.
this is Selena, a friend of mine.
I guess the evidence.
That fucking face! I've been waiting for it.
It's a it's here.
So Bruce has officially had a stroke.
I got you now.
Raptor could. Okay, no, I'm not gonna say that.
What?
No, I'm really not going to say that.
Oh, okay. You used us. You used how I felt about you to throw me off the trail.
Well, I had to distract you somehow. Don't tell me you didn't enjoy it. Both of
Look,
you.
I would just run up and push her off the fucking side right then and there.
Was it real? Was any of it real?
You Sims. Oh, Jack, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. You were always the romantic one. Yeah, the Joker, the romantic one.
Top 5 video game heartbreaks.
Also, weren't you the one who said, I love them both. Why do I have to pick one?
Yeah.
A triangle's a perfect shape.
Oh, god damn it. This next line. So it was all a joke to you? I was just a joke?
Oh, I get it. Because it's the Jonker. That's so fucking clever, I must say.
You know what would like make this immediately good? It's like, you want to hear a joke, Selena? Like, what do you get when you cross an incel who's been had his heart broken one too many times? You get what you bang.
Okay.
You think I take you seriously? Come on, you're the biggest joke, Jack. That's all you are.
I have and you're even trying to do anymore.
What about him? Did you love him?
Multiple times, but that's not the point.
Come on, step up that ledge, Selena.
Kill yourself.
I lend you every dollar in your trust to help you with your dad. The other night, I wanted to tell you.
Oh shit!
I'm here to give you.
Bruce is gonna do it. He's gonna blow her fucking head off.
Vince, shut up!
You shut up.
Everything you want, everything you deserve, because I'm a simp.
You should shoot
Wait
her.
until he's done reading.
No, you saw it. He's gonna fucking blow her brains out. I'm looking forward to it. I don't care who does it. Somebody do it.
Is that all?
Take the money, please. It's what I have to give.
Keep it. I'd rather steal it than have it offered in the place of your heart. What the fuck?
What is that? That's gibberish.
What?
I'd rather steal it than have it offered in the place of your heart. So so I thought the whole point was to get the money. Was it to get his dick? I don't know.
4 pages, Mike, and welcome back.
What does it mean? Are you just willing to call this whole thing off if he's willing to be your boyfriend? I don't know.
I just want you to love me. That's all I've ever wanted. What about your dad? What about him?
Actually, I'm glad you're both here. I need witnesses.
Stop!
No.
Look at his
I'm
face.
having a stroke again.
Look at his face when he's saying no. Look how cross-eyed he is.
Oh.
He's in full stroke mode.
I wanted to see her.
What does purple taste like?
I wanted to see her broken, bloodied body on the ground.
He looks like a fucking goldfish. A pointy fucking goldfish.
I hate this.
Splish.
I hate this story so much.
This is all your fault. If you hadn't
look at
come
their
back to
shocked
town,
faces.
if you just kept away, if she'd kept away from you.
Dickhead, she tried to kidnap me.
Look at their faces. He's just like, ooh.
They're just like, oh shit.
Oh, guys, we got a high impact fight scene next.
But it was you who introduced her to the pranksters.
What?
If you guys weren't fleecing Witch Kid, she'd never have gotten
That's not
to do this.
You're pathetic, and I hope you all die.
Yeah,
I hope everyone gets killed.
That was Jack's, the name of his gang of friends, the pranksters. Alright, so I'm going to try and have some fun with this. Whoosh! Crack! Wump!
That doesn't look like it. Look at that face he makes me talk like, oh. he's like hugging his crotch. He's not tackling him.
This is the only time I'll say that the two spontaneously becoming gay and hooking up and just like forgetting about the broad would be justified.
Look at this next panel. That is like such a half-hearted punch. Bruce. Oh my god, Bruce. I'm sorry. It's neither of our faults. Please, we're friends.
This is the Joker, everyone.
Oh wait, Raptor, have fun with this line.
Okay. Bruce Wayne doesn't have friends.
I'm pretty sure you said okay, Raptor, but at first I thought you said like, oh, so gay, meaning this line, and you know what? I agree with you. What, Manny?
Crawling in my skin. Bruce Wayne doesn't have friends.
Can I voice Two-Face?
Yeah. So, weeks later.
What happened to your friend? Bruce.
I've got a feeling he was never really interested in photography.
Take a picture, it'll last longer, right?
What are you doing here, Harvey? I heard you were moving.
I'm being cool. I'm flipping a coin. It shows the dichotomy of my character. I don't think God exists in this story. Shut up! Yeah, well, my dad's got a new job. But my folks decided to stay. I do like my new voice, by the way. I decided it kind of fits with my new image. I have many faces. 2 specifically. You
I'll
can
send
call
you.
me.
I'll
You
buy
can
a.
call me Double Face.
I'll buy a pack of lozenges.
No. I've been eating cheese all day to get this face. Oh, did you hear about Selena? They never found a body. I guess the current is so strong, they couldn't take her anywhere. Probably to find new simps. You guys are pretty fucking stupid. You know that?
Hello, Cricket. I'm glad you could join us.
Weird,
Hey,
huh?
Cricket.
Hi, Cricket.
Alright.
Look at him just fucking angrily eating his sandwich.
How?
I'm gonna eat a sandwich because
You
I'm
stupid
the
fucking
best.
sandwich.
Nom, nom, nom,
Harvey
nom,
basically have the same hairstyle as Joker. Kind of, except his is like curly pompadour.
No, his is the Joker's is the douchebag, while Harvey's is the predator poof. I've explained this.
But
That's
it's
part of my
basically the same, like, back and
Hey.
sides are buzzed and then hair on
Yeah.
the top. Just Harvey's is
Hey.
curly and...
But they signify 2 very different meanings.
My curly hair is part of my dichotomous character.
It's
Without
the
it,
predator poof.
So
Without
I don't
Raptor,
make the rules.
Without
Raptor,
it, how could
Yeah.
people see me as Two-Face?
can you make some angry chewing sounds for us?
Please don't.
No,
nom,
I
nom,
can't
nom,
take
nom,
human
nom.
noise.
Okay,
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 that's
that's much better.
yeah, that's official for me. Bruce is just saying they're going num 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 num.
Like he's doing it as loud as possible because he wants people to know I'm angry right now.
Cricket
I'm
says just
angry
woke up
and sad.
well after eating a fish You ate a fish sandwich in your sleep? I'm sorry,
Oh.
I couldn't resist.
That's yeah.
All right, back to this bullshit story.
Bruce. She was
Bruce,
my
no,
friend too.
I-
Oh, sorry. Oh, what
Bruce.
voice did you give her? Let's hear it.
Bruce. Bruce, she was my friend too. I miss
Oh
her.
wow. I'm blown
Nom,
away
nom,
with the
nom,
creativity.
Nom, nom.
Fine. I lost my appetite anyway. Yes, because you both had the same friend who died, that means you're entitled for him to talk to you.
Raptor, you were supposed to when Mackenzie did her second line, where you were supposed to like be still chewing.
Nom, 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 nom.
On to the
Bruce
next page.
sounding like the Cookie Monster, just says made this night. Hey guys, miss me? How's tricks?
Oh, yeah, show tonight. There's some rich kid's house. You want to go take them on down, you eh?
Mike says Cricket eats rotisserie chickens whole. Why are you surprised about sleep sandwiches? There's always a game, and I play to win. The fuck does that mean?
Because he's the Joker. He's the Joker, baby. They sold the house. I never saw a for sale sign.
Yeah, they finally
Oh.
got Selena's dad off the fucking roof.
They finally were able to tear down that fucking shack in the middle of like a manor-ish neighborhood.
I remember I voiced
Why
Alfred.
was that there?
What?
Because it was the doghouse.
Please, a doghouse. A dog has its own mansion. You wouldn't settle for that piddling little garbage you had there.
No.
That's for
You see, Vince. My theory was that was the house.
You were there, I think, when we came up with that.
Yeah, the doghouse for Thomas Wayne's beloved dog Fido, and the Kyles came by and
Fido.
we're like, can we rent this house? And he's like, of course, anything for a fellow dog lover. But Mr. Kyle was like, oh, actually, I'm a cat person, and he's like, oh, so. He's like, well, I'm not going to kick them out, but I'm not going to make any repairs or upkeep to the house, not for a dirty cat lover. And then we just decide that, like, Mr. Kyle was going insane thinking he was an actual cat. So he's just, like, on the roof of the house at night, like, meow, meow, meow.
That was your fanfic.
I am a genius.
I don't know. And I once came and took Mr. Kyle away.
Anyway, who's saying this next line?
Interesting. Also, I think that's
Bruce.
Are you sure? Because it looks like I can't tell. Put the fucking speech bubble underneath his mouth. No, wait. No, the way that I think that's Alfred again.
No, that's
No,
Bruce.
I think that's Bruce. They're showing his face.
Doesn't mean anything, and you know it.
Raptor, just read it.
Okay. Interesting. I wonder who the new owner is.
Shall we? We'll be opening late for the. We'll be late for the opening, and the first act of Dawakere is not to be missed, son.
Yes, of course. Let's go.
All right.
Sorry if you can hear Eli in the background.
Here we're back with Mr. Kyle.
How are you doing, Mr. Kyle?
I mean, some days are better than others, Betty.
Why, Mr. Kyle, that's the first time you remembered my name.
Okay, don't get cocky, bitch. I was just trying to be polite.
Yeah,
All right, you guys ready to get pissed off?
He's getting cured of his cat delusions.
You guys ready to get pissed off?
I called it, so no.
Fucking Christ.
You didn't really think I was dead, did you?
I just really
I
That
hoped.
would be
He's
tragic.
alive?
No.
A talking cat? Oh my
Okay, Raptor wins the rest of the night.
Besides, no. I don't want to read it.
Yes, Cricket, you are
Read it.
capable of anything.
Coward-ass coward.
I don't want. How dare you reference the Beatles? You talentless fuck. Besides, I could buy with a little help from my amigos.
My
It's
sister
time.
is harassing me.
It's time for a new adventure. After all, Gato has 9 lives.
Okay, combined with Raptor, what you said, I just imagine Pamela being like, a talking cat? Like, wait, do you actually think I'm a cat? You mean you're not?
You know, Ivy, I wasn't being literal. That was a metaphor.
I don't get that TV.
I was really horrible. I wanted to because Poison Ivy's supposed to be Korean. It was like, oh, let me just take you home and fatten you up and cook you.
Now I'm gonna go hungry. Okay, so, and we're in Paris now.
Because
she
somehow she had the money to be able to travel there.
Where did she get this money from?
That's a very good question.
So it's very, very obvious. She didn't want to spend her own trust getting her own trust on her dad, because then that would mean she'd have no money for her and her bullshit wants. She was going to keep her money and use all that bullshit to get Bruce Wayne to give her money, but not through the generosity of his own heart. No. She had to steal it for some reason. So that way she could take care of her
So
dad,
she could
ship
lie
him
to
off,
herself.
and then use her money for her own gain.
She could lie to
But-
herself and pretend that she actually earned the money through her own gumption, when in reality, she's nothing but a conceited bitch who can't comprehend the idea of actually earning things through any legitimate hard work.
But guys, her dad's sick. Isn't that so
Rev, you're
sad,
shut the
guys?
fuck up.
I hope he dies too. I want her to return to Gotham to find that he's been brutally, like, beaten down in the street by a man in a bat costume.
But Vince, it's okay. Nobody's ever really gone.
Really, Vince? You really want a sequel?
Oh, please tell me it's
Gotham
over.
High 2 to the streets.
The squeak.
Well, if it involves her being brutally beaten to death, yes. I didn't hear that.
Batman dance fights and beats the shit out of Mr. Kyle.
Gotham High
Ghost.
2. More money, more problems.
More money, more hoes.
So,
Alright.
so Mr. Kyle, you've heard of jazz hands?
Alright, this
Yes.
is the last
Here's
page. Let's
jazz
just get this over with.
batarangs.
Okay, you really had to stretch for that one, didn't you?
Alright, let's just get this over with. It's the last page. He's bueno. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for taking care of him.
You didn't earn any of
Takes
this.
a selfie. Miss me? No.
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 It's spring break and I always wanted to go to Paris. Don't worry, I'll be back. You haven't seen the last of me yet.
Yeah,
Go.
when the fucking
Bye.
insurance. Yeah, when
Yeah,
you get
actually, they
arrested.
have seen the last of you because you've committed insurance fraud.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're going to be locked up for, and that's a good thing, and you deserve it. And oh, I can finally see the fucking smug satisfaction on the fucking author's face. Go fuck yourself. I
And
don't
so,
like
Selena-
you.
And so, Selena Kyle was arrested for insurance fraud and was sentenced to 7 months in federal prison and was canceled
she
all
got-
over the internet by commentary channels. The
And she
end.
got brutally stabbed to death in the showers.
Well, luckily there isn't a sequel because I'm pretty sure even De La Cruz was too embarrassed to dredge one up.
No.
Can we?
I am
I don't
speaking
want-
directly to you, Melissa De La Cruz. Kiss my ass.
Oh,
You
Okay, I was
talentless
so worried
hack.
about where I thought the very first syllable. I was like, "Oh no!" and then it was like "kiss." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank God."
Kiss the whitest part of my ass. You
you can kiss
no
the whitest
talent
parts of my black
piece
ass.
of shit.
So, can I read my favorite comment?
Yes.
By all means.
So, thank you,
No.
Manga Mango, or Manga Mango. Selena is a bitch, selfish, inconsiderate whore. She loves them both. A triangle is a perfect shape. Really. Not only is that completely stupid and unfair to both of them, but if she loved them both as she claimed, then how could she even think to manipulate and abuse their feelings for her just to further her own ends? What kind of heartless cunt would do that? And this is like the switching between lowercase and capital, because to make sure that you know they're being facetious. A strong, independent woman who don't need no man? Fuck her. Harvey has a scar because of her. And for what? So her dad can get into a home. She could have chosen to not go to so many parties and gotten herself a damn job like everyone else. Instead, she kidnaps her schoolmate for ransom, toys with people's lives, fakes her death, then fucks off to Paris where she can take Eiffel Tower selfies for the gram. Are we actually supposed to like her? Also, the boys need to grow up. Why the hell would they fight over her or try to blame each other for the fact that she's a horrible person? Any man with even a hint of dignity would see there's no point fighting over a person who slept with them both and didn't feel sorry about it.
A just question, my liege.
No, it keeps going. Seriously, Bruce, for the love of all things good and sane, stop talking to the character as if they're, like, going to read this.
Thank you. I was about to say.
Never in my life did I think I would see the day Bruce Wayne became a simp, but here we are. That's
Well, I think a gentleman with the last name King came around and said, like, oh, you want to bet?
Oh, it's not over. This is the last paragraph. This was not a fun read. Not the worst thing I've ever read, but the time I spent reading this could have been spent reading something I actually enjoy. I gave the book a fair shot, but there's nothing to like about it. I am insulted that this is the kind of hot garbage DCC thinks us young people want to read, and I hope they get it together.
They never did.
DC, were you doing your Mike Tyson impression?
No, I just couldn't read for a minute there.
So yeah, this is. I mean, it's one of those things where what do you expect? You know.
Yeah.
What could you have possibly expected from this? This is actually, I will say, it actually exceeded my expectations in how fucking atrocious it could become. And that also, when you say that, it sounds like, people are reviewing hyperbolic language and over exaggerations to get those quick little funny clicks. Nah, fuck this.
Sorry, Vince, real quick. Okay, bye, Cricket. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, Cricket.
Hope
Bye,
to talk
Cricket.
to you later.
Here's another good one. Selena, I don't need your help. I'm a strong, independent woman. And it is spelled woman.
Yes.
I can take care of myself. I'm going to prove I don't need you by stealing your money, which you were just offering to give to me of your own free will. My plan is great.
And then some dickhead, I think, responded to that one. So yeah. Well, she didn't steal his money, so I don't see what the point of this comment is, other than spelling women wrong. Idiot doesn't get the meme.
Points out again, correctly, the fact that she wasn't successful in stealing his money doesn't make her plan less stupid.
Yeah. Honestly,
it's not even the stupidity of her plan that I have an issue with. It's a stupid plan to be sure, but it's the fact that it's supposed to be seen as a triumph in the end.
Yeah.
When she did all these horrible things, and one person is like permanently scarred because of her. She shows no remorse for it. She shows no effort to like try to make amends with that person. Like if I were Two-Face, I'd be looking for it just to get even.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna read the whole comment. I'm just gonna read the very first
Well, I just want to say
sentence.
real quick about the previous comment you just read. Just the way you read it immediately made me think, oh my god, this convoluted plan that ends up failing in the end anyway. Selena is fucking Zim.
Yeah. Or no. Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
I'm a genius!
No, you know why? Because Zim, the whole point of Invader Zim, that makes it, even the most incompetent Urkin is still incredibly dangerous.
That's true.
I guess, seeing as how one of her old classmates is scarred for the rest of his fucking life because of her incompetence, then I guess she is Zim. Never mind.
So, now I'm going to only read the very first sentence of this very long comment, but I think it's a very poignant one.
Okay.
What was the point of having Dick Grayson?
Wait, there was Dick Grayson?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the black kid who was getting beaten up at the very, very beginning.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And then he showed up really briefly at the party, being like, "Yo, Bruce Wayne, my man."
I forgot about that.
Just to fill a quota, I was like, what other characters can I bend the race to make sure people how?
Otherwise, bring up some other good points. And aside from forced inclusiveness, what was the point of Alfred having a husband? Selena's father was just there to give us sympathetic motivation, which didn't work. Wasted even the opportunity to have a Professor Cobblepot, which would have actually made sense.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, okay, yeah, Professor Cobblepot, he's the nature science teacher, and it's okay, this week we're going to be studying birds.
Okay.
That would have been fun, actually.
I missed. We were talking. You said bird, and then Raptor put a thing in the chat. It said BRB, and I read that it's I'll burb. I'll be the bird, guys.
Randy Quaid, talking like Randy Quaid in Independence Day. I can fly. I pilot.
No, because Independence Day sucks.
Raptor's just I'll burb.
Everyone needs to stop pretending that Independence Day is a good movie. Yeah, Will Smith is good in it, and there's nothing else good about it.
Actually, I like the bit of trivia that apparently people in foreign countries believe that, who played the president in the movie?
I forgot.
Was that Bill Pullman? But
Well,
they thought that he was the actual president of the United States.
I mean, to be fair, we've had presidents in our movies.
Oh, welcome back, Mike. Tunes in Kenzie. Yeah, the black kid getting beat up. Burb
Well,
was the
yeah,
blurb.
but that's all he was.
I mean, that kind of just shows the mentality of a lot of these people. They have a very, I don't know, like,
It's almost like they're racist.
That's
Yeah.
not me trying to like simplify the character. That's all the character was.
I think it was it Ethan Vance? Not Ethan Vance guy. I think it was your boy Zach. He just straight up like he pointed out that a lot of these people who write characters like that, like you can almost see the stereotype. It's like oh, gay best friend character. It's like
Yeah.
Black gay best friend character, Latino like gay best friend character. And it's like they're not characters, they're accessories.
Yeah.
For your
yeah,
self-insert characters, and it's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, he calls them purse puppies.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot that term.
Yeah, well, he points out like there's no like negative traits to black characters. Like he calls him like Gordon Goodbrother, like the black guy who can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, here's something I want to address. So this is from Sick Fathom. And Sick is right. Okay. I think it represented the characters very well and the story is entertaining. Like
In
people
what regard?
jump on the bandwagon of it's bad or lesser fan fiction anyone can write. I don't think you know how to not wear rose-tinted glasses. That doesn't make sense. For
What?
one thing, the whole lesser fan fiction anyone can write is pretty much to say that all fan fiction is bad or that fan fiction
Yes, I will say that.
No. Okay, so I want to get to that. No, it does not. Experimentation is the crux of storytelling, which people who just read this for the t-shirt just don't get. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, I'm not done. It's not over. But like I'm going to say, yeah, I don't agree. I do agree that not all fan fiction means bad because I've seen Batman fan fiction way better than this. You know why? Because it was in character.
Yeah.
For all characters.
Nah,
I've seen fan comics better written than this. I've seen fan art drawn better than this.
It's usually done by people who either one have a vision of what they like, have a unique vision of something that they're a legitimate fan of, and they want to see it implemented. They've either wanted to see it like done before their very eyes. Some people didn't have the same vision as them, and then, so they said, "I'm going to take it upon myself to use whatever creative talents I have to put this vision I have onto paper." There's been plenty of works, and a fair amount of people who essentially started off writing like their own little fan projects end up at some point making shit for the studios that they were a fan of. Like one of my favorite webcomics of all time was Dr. McNinja, if anyone remembers that.
Yep.
And it was like insanely funny, insanely random, and I think the writer of that went on to write some Deadpool comics.
Oh my god, this person's an even bigger idiot than I thought because I'm reading the rest of it.
May I just say real quick, like the whole thing about like, experimentation is like the whole thing. Yeah, okay. The thing is, people think just because they tried something new or different automatically makes it good. It's like, no. Experimentation is good, but if you still end up failing, then you have to take the criticism for it.
Well, it's like,
I mean, there's no evidence that De La Cruz isn't taking the criticism on the chin. Like, we have no idea
she doesn't seem like
reacted to like.
Based on this work, I have a hard time believing it because a lot of these people seem to operate under the same wavelength, and I know that's a generalization. And I know I shouldn't be doing that, but how can I not at this point? Because it's always like these certain telltale signs that you look at it and it's like you're almost always on the money. You're almost never wrong if you assume these things.
Yeah.
And I like to point out this reminded me like that fucking bit from the Nerd Crew when they're talking about.
No.
Peop-
Can I finish what I was my train
Go
of
on,
thought
go
first?
on. Mhm.
Thank you. So
You're
I
not
was
welcome.
saying that this person's even dumber than I thought because so they start off like, oh, it's to say that's to say like that all fan fiction is bad or that fan fiction means bad. No, it doesn't. And then so it's like now I'm going to explain why fan fiction's bad and why this isn't bad and it's so much better than fan fiction. It's like okay, first of all, it's a complete mess. I don't think English was this person's first language. It works because it is a new invention of a previous story and not a loosely contrived sum of posts and then hang-ups. All right,
That's exactly what it is.
Manny already discussed that on why, like, just because it's new doesn't mean it's good. It's a complete story and it works pretty well. No, it doesn't. It is not the real.
Doesn't mean anything.
It is not in the real of fan fiction. I think means realm of fan fiction, which is not bad. But yet, fan fiction is often never completed and never is sure to have one direction at all.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it can change multiple times and not anything gets done, or not anything get done.
Okay, what's your point?
Thus, this work is nowhere near fan fiction quality. So, because it focuses on a single...
Hold on. I thought, real quick, I thought fan fiction doesn't equal bad, though. Why are you talking as if it's a negative connotation?
Yeah, that's my point.
Like, can you make up your fucking mind on what point you're trying to make?
Yeah, so because it's like, okay, first of all, well, fan fiction doesn't mean bad, but because it stays focused on its stupid story, and because it actually is finished, even though it's sequel baits and a sequel has never been completed, that means it's good. It's better than fan fiction. Even though it abides by every single fan fiction trope that most people agree is awful.
Yeah, and I gotta say too, like, it's something new. What's new is putting like the
what is
like
the
the tissue paper thin veil of Batman over this. The actual story, though, this is like teen drama that has been done to death.
This is not. There's nothing new about taking your beloved like characters from pop culture and putting them in a high school setting. My Little Pony did that before this.
Yeah, I mean, this is the newest thing I've ever seen. Like, I've never seen anything like this before. Isn't that right, Riverdale?
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that. Yes.
This could very much be
Daredevil. At least Riverdale, from what I've been told, like our show sucks and we're terrible writers. Let's just do whatever we want and like have time travel and weird shit. Like, okay, oh fine, just say fuck it at some point. This is like, I don't even understand like what I'm supposed to like get out of this.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like overall, what's the overarching message here?
Mike, to answer your question, am I hearing Kenzie's Chris Bors? I wasn't trying to do a particular impression, and I don't know enough about Chris Bors' voice to have done that, but if the shoe fits.
Yeah.
He has a very unusual... I don't know, I can't, like, it's not that weird. Ever since Chills came out, I think he beat this Chris Bors. I think I'm starting to think that Chills is just a plant that Chris Bors prayed privately to make his voice sound normal by comparison. But yeah, this is I'm trying to unpack everything that you read in that stupid ass comment. Like, I think I was trying to make a comparison. The fucking Nerd Crew made that joke about what am I hearing?
Water.
Yeah, no. That joke about people who like say, "Oh, innovation is good," and like is the groundbreaking things, but only when it comes to visuals and tone. Basically, saying that people who talk about, "Oh, it's such a good thing that it's different," they don't mean that. Because if it was like, yeah, like say, take Star Wars and make it to a comedy. This is the example they were trying to make, right? And people are universally probably like turn around and like hate it because it's different.
Yeah,
so,
but
like this... No, go on, sorry.
Oh, like, there's innovation, and then there's like
this
butchering something and turning it into a grotesque Frankenstein's monster.
And you can't that's the thing that I think a lot of people confuse. They confuse something being different with something being innovative. This, even if you this is different, but what is so innovative about this that you wouldn't see anyone else? Like, this is basically bottom of the barrel fan fiction that you see anywhere.
Exactly.
You can find this literally anywhere.
Like no, and again, people are like, "Oh, well, it's a new spin." There's nothing. Again, there's nothing new about taking pre-existing characters in a non-teen setting and putting them in a teen high school setting.
Yep.
In fact,
Again,
someone,
and really think about this, My Little Pony's done it, and I think it was before this.
a lot of things were before. Like, go on to fanfiction.com, look up the oldest shit that you can find in any genre, and you will find like so and so in high school. So like, it's not new by any stretch of imagination. In fact, hold on, let me look some.
Yeah, and you know what? Marvel already did it and got it right 20 years ago.
Where is it? What was it called again? Jail. Have you ever heard of Jail 8?
Like,
No.
there's nothing wrong with trying something new. Like, what if Batman had stayed the same throughout it's from its conception in what, the 30s, 40s? Like, the villains wouldn't be the same characters that we love to follow. Like, yeah, Joker's kind of just like the same, like, batshit crazy, but Mr. Freeze was just a bank robber with an ice gun.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah, there was no Nora.
And occasionally
and
he would
like
have a Russian
now
accent.
he is one of the most sympathetic Batman villains in his rogues gallery. And like, I'm not above, and like, again, I've had this conversation in Cortex Club, like, where someone had a problem with one interpretation of Mr. Freeze. Like, instead of being married to Nora, he fell in love with her when he saw her frozen, and like has been like obsessed with the idea of thawing her and having this life with her, when in reality she has no idea who he is.
That sounds kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah.
I like that interpretation. Like, that's new, it's different, but it still is in keeping with the tragedy of the situation.
Yeah.
It's just putting a different spin on it. And like, honestly, kind of more in keeping in line with like, okay, yeah, he should totally be sent to Arkham. This is like some delusional thinking he has, is that he can like cure this woman and that they'll have this life together, and that has like this obsession with it.
Yeah. Mike says, if Batman was still beating up Axis caricatures, I'd get a kick out of that. Yeah, that would be pretty good.
I found it. Here we go. This is the thing I just said. Is JL8. It was a pretty popular webcomic for a while. It was basically like Justice League characters in kindergarten, and it was incredibly charming and funny, and actually pretty interesting in some parts. And it was made by.
I can't believe I got sent to timeout. This is great. It's like a brooding smorgasbord.
I don't think it's still being made anymore, but yeah, it's made by someone you can clearly tell is a fan of the show. Like, that's more than anything else is what I hate about this. Like, we talked about this a number of times, where this modern generation of writers who think that they're being like clever by being subversive and like deconstructing all these different like things that we grew up with.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come from a place of like actual interest or care or love for the source material that they're essentially using to springboard their own careers. It comes from a very malicious and hateful place. And that's what I get out of this. Is it malicious, hateful, or just outright dismissive? This comic right here, Gotham High, was written by someone who I think does not care about this genre of this media at all.
Well, here's the thing, Vince, and I talked about this the last time we covered Gotham High, but you weren't there to join us for that. So I looked into some of the other stuff that De La Cruz worked on, and I don't know if you've heard about this, but she didn't write the actual movie. It started off as a movie. She only did the novelization.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, whenever like something becomes successful, and then they sell the book version of the movie because apparently the movie's not enough.
Yeah.
So she did the novelization of Disney's Descendants. Now, if you don't know what that is, tell me if this seems like a good idea to you.
Okay.
What if in a universe where all the Disney characters, canon characters are live together, and that after all their happily ever afters, they all have children and they send them off to high school. Now on another island.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So then all the villain kids are sent in a transfer program to the good high school where their shenanigans ensue. Now, does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
So I think so that was like back in like what, 2015 or something. So I think she really thought Disney did something with that idea. And then it was just brewing and just bubbling in her mind like a witch's brew until she couldn't contain it. And she's like, I have to write Gotham High.
Again, just if you want the experience, like, oh, Gotham guys, but not good, but JLA characters, but in school, read
I'll be right back, getting my
JLA.
pizza.
Okay.
Just read JLA. It's so much better. It's funnier, and they actually like a very endearing.
And while Kenzie's gone, because I know she'll hate this analogy, saying that it was bubbling in her mind like a witch's brew is far too, like, badass of a comparison. No, in De La Cruz's mind, it was bubbling like my toilet after I binge eat Taco Bell.
Why would you? See, the problem with that is that you assume that anyone would reasonably eat Taco Bell, period.
She really went to DC and was like, hey guys, you know that Descendant books I wrote?
No.
What if we did the same thing with Batman?
Please leave.
No. See, the way it went was, no, we don't, but you're one of them Mexicans, ain't you? We're gonna hire you.
I mean, she can't write for shit. No, but she's useful.
Yeah.
That's how they're gonna talk about, like she's a product, like she's useful. That's how they would do it.
Yeah, or as the equally awful writer Gabby Rivera would say it, but they hired her because she's Latina.
So,
you saying, Vince?
I have nothing to say anymore because seriously, this is like I'm not so much angry at this. This sucks, but you know, I'm angry that it's not changing.
I'm angry at this, but no, I have pizza, so
I'm angry that it's not changing. I'm angry that this is gonna keep getting worse.
Yeah.
Because the people who like are fans of this shit are gonna go on and make even worse things. And they're gonna get hired, despite the fact that they have no like real understanding of what they should be doing.
I try to be optimistic. Like, it's just a period of like a dork age of comics. It'll pass.
No.
Because for every person who is a fan of shit like this who might go on to make something, there are still other people who hate it, who get the characters, who might also go on to make something.
But you forget that the difference between the dork age and here is that now the climate is such that, like, I don't know how to explain, like the politics regarding to working in the comic industry is so much worse in regards to like filtering out people with actual talent because they believe in X, Y, and Z, or they don't want to be vocal about whatever. Like, they just don't want to talk about politics. They just want to put out, stories. They just want to tell stories or draw. And it's like, well, if you don't want to be a part of the cool kids club, well, you can't be a part of this thing, and we'll have you kicked out. And then those people have to go on to essentially make their own shit, and they'll have to fight an uphill battle. And granted, we have seen plenty of evidence of people managing to do well for themselves. Even Van Sciver with Cyberfrog and
yes.
I keep forgetting his.
Richard Meyer.
Richard Meyer, like, all of them are doing so much better. Like, when they don't have to kiss ass and like walk on eggshells in the industry to like essentially get their work done. But that's not going to be the case for everyone. There's so many talented people that don't get heard or don't get promoted, don't get talked about because the industry's been pilferated by fucking whack jobs who will embrace like bigoted hiring practices and will talk more about like themselves rather than any project that they're working on.
Yeah.
Narcissists who don't care about storytelling, who aren't creative. And I think that we were talking before, like you can have whatever stupid political take you want. Why can't you just talk about things you enjoy though?
Exactly.
How many of these people actually enjoy comics? Like, I want to go message this lady. What's her name again? I already forgot it. I don't care. I'm
Melissa
gonna
De La
block it out of my
Cruz.
mind. You just told me and I already forgot.
Which again, we don't need to tell you guys not to like find this person and bother her, but
No, I don't
always
mean that
nice to
literally.
cover our ass.
But I really want to ask her, like, what's your favorite comic book? What's your favorite like comic book art for the last few years? Like, what got you into comics? Like, what's your favorite superhero? What's your favorite superhero like story arc? What's your favorite writer for your favorite superhero?
This is just for her to get a Netflix deal.
Exactly. And they all suck. They're all the same. These people don't care about being storytellers. If you're not creative or you don't care about being creative, then why the fuck are you in a fucking field that requires you to be creative?
Yep.
Get the fuck out of my hobby. You're not welcome. You can be welcome when you actually show that you care. But until that day comes, fuck off. You, by the way, I'm going to be fair. Whether you're black, white, male, female, anything in between of those things, I don't care. If you don't care, you're not welcome. If you don't put effort in, you will not be respected. Eat shit, choke on the corn, go fuck yourself.
Here, here. And Mike says comics just haven't been the same since Garfield. And I can have whatever stupid political take I want. Okay, here goes. JFK and Morrowind.
JFK Arena. I unlocked my new heroes in JFK Arena. He fires bullets. He fires heat-seeking bullets.
Okay, but we've been going for 3 hours now. My dinner is ready, so let's end things here. Yes, I also have pizza.
Yay, pizza.
Angry Vince is angry. So guys, thanks for joining us. Everyone watching this currently and in the future, thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next time. Same bean time, same bean channel.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Good night. It's over. It's finally over.